As the Noles come to Louisville, Kentucky. They meet for the 7th time as members of the ACC. The Cards jacked up and ready to take on Florida State. This presentation of ACC football is presented by your local Ford dealer. Cardinal Stadium is the site of our game as the Cards take the field. A maximum of 12,000 fans allowed into the stadium as they host the Florida State Seminoles here in Louisville, Kentucky. And we should have an outstanding game for you today. Tom Wormy along with James Bates. Lindsey Riley will join us in just a moment from the sidelines. Louisville, James, much better than its 1-4 record, and they're led by quarterback Malik Cunningham.
Yeah, just look at last week. They take Notre Dame in South Bend to the wire, and it starts with the toughness of this guy. Malik Cunningham he told us this week that we have a rule in the quarterback room. Nobody is allowed to run out of bounds. Makes the most of it. He's very tough, and he has the tools. He can throw it, and he can run it. He hasn't been great this year, but those around him got to support. They need some big plays to go their way.
A few weeks ago for Florida State, they played Jacksonville State, and we saw Jordan Travis take the reins at quarterback, and he hasn't let go.
At that point, he hadn't started a game. And, oh, look what he did, by the way, against the number 5 team in the nation in Tallahassee last Saturday night. He put on a show with his legs, averaging almost 6 yards a carry. He can throw it, but when he's at his best throwing the football, it seems almost with a little bit of a backyard feel. Whatever it takes, the Seminoles are back in the win column, back in business, and boy, do they ever need to back it up against a very physical, very tough Louisville team today.
And because of his performance so far this season, and especially against North Carolina, Jordan Travis is our hearty star to watch. Take a look at the yards passing, 191, only completed 8 passes efficient, and he ran for over 100 yards. And for more on the Noles quarterback, let's go down to the sidelines and Lindsey Riley.
Thanks, Tom. I actually got a chance to speak with Jordan Travis earlier this week, and he told me that ever since he was a little boy, he's dreamed of playing football at Florida State. So when the opportunity came up before the 2019 season to transfer from Louisville to Florida State, it was an easy decision. Now, that being said, he did say he still has friends on the Louisville team, and he did enjoy his time at Louisville, but he's very proud to be a Seminole. Needless to say, he would love to get a win against his former team here today. Jordan told me that today he really wants to focus on his leadership skills on the field, such as being more vocal, keeping his teammates motivated, and making sure that his offense is always on the same page. Guys?
Well, Lindsey, proud to be a Seminole. A lot of proud Floridians, not just at Florida State, but Louisville as well. You look on their roster, and still many, especially down from Miami, and not Florida-like weather here today, is it, Tom?
Ooh, a crisp 50 degrees right before kickoff here at high noon. Louisville won the toss, elected to defer. Their head coach is Scott Satterfield in his 2nd season as the head man, 9-9 so far as their head coach. Took him to the Music City Bowl a year ago and beat Mississippi State 38-28 in that bowl game. He's 0-1 against Florida State as they met last year as well. Mike Norvell got that first ACC win of his career in his first year as the Florida State head coach. That was last Saturday against number 5 North Carolina, 31-28. They had a big halftime lead, 31-7, and held on for the win and improved their record to 2-3. Couple that with the win against Jacksonville State, which we called, James, a few weeks ago. And Jordan Travis took over about the 5th series of that game and played the rest of the game, and they beat Jacksonville State.
Anytime he's been in, yeah, he hasn't started many games, but even in that Miami game, a big lopsided loss to the Canes down in Miami. The one bright spot, the couple bright spots, a lot of times it was number 13 with the ball in his hands.
So ready to roll. ACC football. The Cards and the Noles. Corbin and Douglas are deep, and this one is going to bounce out of bounds. So the marker comes out on the opening kickoff.
Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line.
Word from Gary Patterson, our referee today. They'll put it at the 35 with the kickoff going out of bounds. And Jordan Travis, 3rd start of his career for the sophomore. 6'1", 200 pounds from West Palm Beach, Florida, and a transfer, as Lindsay mentioned, from Louisville.
And tough as well. Talk about the toughness of Malik Cunningham, but it was Jordan Travis in that win over UNC last week. You weren't sure if he was going to re-enter the game, let alone play this week, but he looks to be just fine. He's had a good week of practice.
Travis will roll it and throw it, and it's on the money. Cameron McDonald, number 87, has the catch and refuses to go down inside the 40, closer to the 35 for McDonald, the junior, on the catch and run.
That's big. Nice little rollout again. On the run is where he seems to be at his best. Not in the pocket and dropping straight back. He'll move that pocket. Here it's set up, and wide open is McDonald.
That'll be incomplete out in the flat, looking for Ontario Wilson. Chandler Jones got a piece of that, too, deflected after the 30-yard gain on the pass play to Cameron McDonald. By Jordan Travis.
Noles are lucky, Tom, that Jones only got a piece and didn't get 6. That was close. Nice cornerback play on this Louisville defense.
There's 2nd and 10. That's inside the 30 on the carry by Webb.
Well, Webb's been fun to watch. Originally committed to Mississippi State. Couldn't go there out of high school. Spent some time at Jones College in Mississippi before ending up right here. And Seminoles are glad he did. Here's a 3rd down and 4.
10th in the ACC in this situation this year. Little play action and a fake. On 3rd and 4, Travis escapes that pocket inside the 20. And he rolls out of bounds at about the 13. First down, Knowles, and a 15-yard run for Jordan Travis.
Wow, starts off with great coverage. Thought they had a play on the play action. Nothing there, and then just creating, doing what he does best, outrunning everybody and moving those chains. Big pickup to move down into the red zone by Travis and the Knowles. He just never seems to panic. He's at his best when things start to cave around him.
11th in the conference in red zone offense. Travis shovels it forward, and that's incomplete, looking for LaDamian Webb. Russ Yeast put on the pressure.
This Louisville defense last week, where they did have, there's that CPI red zone the Knowles into right now, but the Louisville defense last week, when they had trouble, it was mostly against Ian Book with his legs. It's a whole different animal here today with Jordan Travis running it.
This is Corbin inside the 10 and maybe about the 7 or 8 yard line for Corbin, and we're back to 3rd down as the clock rolls. Early moments of our first quarter. Florida State first possession and taking it down the field. First play was a 30-yard pass play to Cameron McDonald from Travis.
This defense really stiffened in the loss to Notre Dame last week. A 12-7 final. The loss in South Bend, but they were really good in the red zone. Let's see if they can do it here back-to-back weeks.
3rd and 5 from the 8. Travis lost the handle. Bouncing ball, got it back. Sidesteps the man. Travis to the end zone, and he dives for the goal line. Touchdown, Florida State.
Are you kidding me? Do you know how hard it is to bounce a football back up into your hands? Cool as can be and making it happen. Man, what a play. There is 100 times you could try, Tom, to bounce that ball back up into your hands like that. And I'm telling you, maybe once out of the 100. Not the case there for Travis.
8 yards on the run by Travis. Parker Grodehouse for the extra point for Florida State. And the first drive of the game results in 7 points for Florida State and the 5th rushing touchdown of the season for Jordan Travis from 8 yards out.
Picks up the big 3rd down conversion in the middle of the field, and then right here, the crazy bounce. He's Randy Travis, kind of crazy in the quickie mark. Jordan Travis on the end zone.
Yeah.
We can make that happen.
Guys secure.
Back in Louisville, Florida State makes a statement on that opening drive. They take it right down the field, and Jordan Travis had a big hand in that drive. Capped it off with the 8-yard TD run, James, his 5th rushing TD of the season.
And smiling the whole way through. You know what's impressive about that? The fact that it was the opening drive. The fact that Florida State, get this, the last 2 weekends, it's been a primetime matchup. You know, everybody's been watching them go to Notre Dame. Then they play and they beat the number 5 team in the nation in North Carolina. It's not as easy to get up and play a game where you don't feel like the whole world is watching at noon. It's cold. These are mostly Florida guys, don't love the cold weather. But for them to get off that bus and to come in scrapping like they did on that opening drive for the offense, that says a lot about this football team. And you know what? I think it's time to just accept that that's who they are. Like even late in that Notre Dame game, they could have folded up their tents and just waited to get back to Tallahassee, but they continue to fight and they continue to get better. And that's very promising. It's got to be very exciting for Nole fans.
That loss at Notre Dame was October 10th, 42-26, but Florida State had over 400 yards of total offense. Here's Watkins on the return, not quite to the 25-yard line for the Louisville Cardinals. And their first offensive series, 19 yards on the return. And here's Malik Cunningham. Last time we were here, James, we called him McHale. He's back to Malik and ready to roll.
Well, he's got to get them rolling, and they've got to stay in a rhythm. And that offensive line definitely has their hands full with this tough defensive front for Florida State. But they have got to protect, not just in the passing game, but they can't allow penetration from guys like Big Marvin Wilson and company today.
First down, run. It's going to be a modest gain for Javian Hawkins. Sophomore running back for the Cards, and he leads them in that category this season so far.
And right on cue, Kane Doe and company immediately on the snap in that backfield. The penetration, yeah, they get a couple yards, but still, that's not the start you want from that offensive line. You want to see them winning these battles early and often. First snap goes to the guys in white.
And 2nd and 7. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage to Marshawn Ford. And so now it's 3rd down as Stephen Dix Jr. made the play for Florida State. We take a look at your impact players presented by your local Toyota dealer.
All right, Tutu Atwell. There's a Miami guy. He used to run with the Bulls in Northwestern High back in high school. Big-time player. They need his big-time talent. And, of course, Marvin Wilson. Not just Marvin Wilson, 21, but that whole defensive front. Penetrate, penetrate, penetrate all day long. And Marvin Wilson's been a lot of fun to watch. He's the superstar on that defensive line. He's got a big career on Sundays ahead of him, but he plays with a lot of guts.
Cunningham from a secure pocket over the middle, incomplete. Tutu Atwell to the 20, and they finally force him out of bounds near the 10. Tutu Atwell on the catch and run, 65 yards for the Louisville Cardinals.
The big plays have been lacking. There you see the quick cut by Atwell, and it's off to the races. As speedy as can be. Look at him outrun the secondary there to get it down inside the 10-yard line, and all smiles for the Cards because they have been missing those big plays. They've got the talent and guys like Hawkins, Atwell, Fitzpatrick, and of course Malik Cunningham, but they haven't had the big hitters. That was huge for this offense.
Hawkins bounces outside. Hawkins looking for the pylon. He dives for it, and he scores! Javian Hawkins for the Cards in the end zone.
Angles, angles, angles. You've got to take the right angles, but the problem is when Javian Hawkins has the football, every angle seems to be wrong. You turn on the tape anytime this season, and Javian Hawkins, the sophomore from the state of Florida, he's just so quick to that edge, and they do such a good job of getting him on that track.
This play is under further review.
As they take a look at it, but Raymond Woody right there was a perfect example. He's up there, he's in position, and 9 times out of 10, he takes that flat step and is able to make the angle and go and bring the runner down. But when Hawkins gets out there, Gosh, it's so tough.
If it stands, James, it would be his 4th rushing touchdown of the season. Does he stay in bounds before he contacts the pylon at that front corner of the end zone? That left foot as he extends toward the pylon. Either way, a tremendous athletic effort from Javian Hawkins, the sophomore.
Yeah, this will stand. And how about Tutu Atwell blocking down the field, who just had the big catch to get him down there. And there's the best shot right there. You can actually see the green in between.
Review, ruling on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
So the Cards now have converted their last 13 red zone opportunities with 9 touchdowns. As Hawkins dives for the pylon. And the call is confirmed. You need indisputable video evidence to overturn the call, which on the field was touchdown, and it will stand. James Turner to tie our game at 7. James Bates, what a way to start this game. We told you it was going to be great. It's living up to the billing.
Big time, baby. Tutu gets him down there, and it's a big 6 for Javian Hawkins. Big guys giving him a pat on the back. We're tied at 7.
On abortion.
For Coach Satterfield, and Hawkins with the finisher, 9 yards out, 4th TD run of the season for Javian Hawkins.
Glad to see the face shield staying on this week for Satterfield. It blew off in that wind to South Bend last week.
Health and safety protocols in place. Here's Douglas on the return, Florida State, and not quite to the 25-yard line on the return for Douglas from 20 yards on the return as we check in with Lindsay.
Thanks so much, Tom. Like you said, the Cards able to tie this game up because of the run from Javian Hawkins. Now the Cards defense headed back out on the field. Speaking of which, I spoke with Jared Goldwire earlier this week, asking him who would he not want to go against of his team's offense. Without hesitation, he said Javian Hawkins. He said, simply put, he's just way too quick. But the upside is he gets to go against him in practice, and Javian makes him a better player. Guys?
Yeah, and Lindsay at 6'6", 305. Big Gold, as they call him around here. He can run like a little guy.
Short gain for LaDamian Webb. Sophomore running back ran into Tabarius Peterson, number 29 for the Cards. Second and 8. Knowles took it down the field, scored on their first possession. A running TD from Jordan Travis, the running QB. He's going to work out of that shotgun. From their own 25 for the Knowles. They give it to Corbin. Here's our Toyota Impact players. James?
Well, the little big man right there, number 8, Webb, has been really good. Runs hard. He's fun to watch. The sophomore. And Monty Montgomery he's drawn a tough assignment here today. He's got the spy duties on Jordan Travis all over the field against Notre Dame last week. A big play maker every time he's out there. Watch for number 7.
2 for 2 on 3rd down so far for Florida State. Travis buys some time, but that one hits the artificial surface. Pelton and Webb both in the vicinity. Incomplete pass, and 4th down now for Florida State.
Good job for this hungry Louisville defense. Get a quick 3 and out after Florida State on the opening drive marched right down. Nice job in the secondary, too. This is a secondary that's really impressed me. We've seen Chandler Jones mixing it up a little bit already today. Cottrell Clark, the sophomore, impressive as well. Special teams have been pretty good for the Noles this year, and it hasn't always been the case for Louisville. Got to make sure they're clean today.
Mastromano gets it away. Burns wants the fair catch right near the 30-yard line. Straddles that 30 and makes it successfully after the 43-yard punt from Alex Mastromano. 7-all. Noles and Cards. Louisville's got the ball when we come back.
My goodness.
Seminoles and Cardinals tied at 7. Both teams scoring. on their first offensive possessions. The overall series led by Florida State. They won the game last year at home against the Cards in late September, 35-24, when Cam Akers had 3 rushing touchdowns. And Florida State had over 500 yards of total offense. And they've won 4 of the 6 meetings between the teams as ACC opponents. 21st all-time meeting. A rip-roaring start to this one. And now time for our keys to the game, brought to you by your local Ford dealer with James Bates.
All right, for the Seminoles, focus and finish. Focus, they can't have the procedure penalties like they had last week. Yeah, they won the game, but they're momentum killers. They've got to keep that momentum. 12 penalties last week, 12 penalties in the loss to Miami as well, and they've got to finish. And that's one thing that Louisville hasn't been able to do, is finish these football games. So they've got to put it down in the second half. And for Louisville, hey, it's big play Saturday for the Cards. They have needed the big plays in a big way, and they certainly got one on the opening drive. It was a 66-yard reception by Tutu Atwell. That's plenty big enough to get him down there, and Javian Hawkins punches it in for the touchdown. Salto Gigante. They need the big ones here on Saturday.
Cards 1-4 on the season, 0-4 in conference play. 3 straight road games. Haven't played a home game since late September against Miami, a loss 47-34. Hawkins. Florida State side of the 50. He may go. Hawkins all the way to the end zone. Touchdown Louisville, and 70 yards on the run by Javian Hawkins.
What's that, Scott Satterfield? You want more big plays? How's that for big plays Saturday? Man, there's the penetration, Tom. The Seminoles, 3 or 4 white jerseys back in the backfield immediately at the snap. But you got to corral them. You got to bring them down. And Javian Hawkins, time and time again, has shown he's very tough.
After running for just 46 yards a week ago at number 4 Notre Dame, Hawkins has TD runs of 9 and 70, James, in the first quarter.
And look at these guys. Look at him there immediately. That's Janarius Robinson in the backfield, but you can't go running back there like a blind bull in a butcher shop. You got to come under control at some point, especially when you've got a quick guy like Javian Hawkins that can change direction and take it all the way. And look at the speed down the sideline. That was Emmett Rice diving, trying to clip those heels. Nothing doing. Wow, touchdown number 2 early in this one. Still 8:37 left in the first quarter.
And the 5th rushing touchdown of the season now for Hawkins.
This was a defensive play so well in the first half in the win over number 5 North Carolina last week. You know, and it's one thing on the offensive side, talking with Kenny Dillingham from FSU, the consistency has been there, but not the detail. The detail has to be consistent.
Douglas up to the 20-yard line. They'll mark him at the 21. And a 17-yard return for Ja'Kai Douglas, the freshman return man, with his team trailing 14-7, 8:31 to go in the first quarter. So glad that you're with us for this fantastic matchup between Florida State and Louisville. As we told you, the Cards much better than their 1-4 record, and anybody across the ACC will tell you as such. And agree with that. Florida State coming off of that monster win against North Carolina at home a week ago. 432 yards of total offense in that win against the Noles. Here's Travis. That's complete to Wilson. And first down yardage to the 34-yard line of the pass play to Wilson.
And remember, Tamari and Terry still out with the knee surgery, and he'll be back before too long. So guys like Pookie Wilson have to step up, in a nice play pass here to bring those linebackers in. They've got to stop the run. Makes it nice and easy to get it at the sticks, but there is the injured Card
That's Isaiah Hayes, number 33, and a senior from Los Angeles, California, being checked out. You mentioned Tamarian Terry, James. He's got over 2,200 career receiving yards, so that's a lot missing in the receiving core for Florida State. See if they can make up for it, and good to see Hayes trotting off the field for the Cards. We were here last season for the game against Boston College, James. That was the first ACC win for Scott Satterfield and propelled them to their record of 8-5 last year and 5-3 in conference play. Toafili on the carry, the freshman from St. Petersburg, Florida. He was a big factor in the win against Jacksonville State a few weeks ago, and he has 8 yards on the run.
Yeah, it's not just the LaDamian Webb show here. You got Toafili. We've seen Corbin as well in there already, the Texas A&M transfer. There's a nice pickup, nice situation to be in if you're Kenny Dillingham, the offensive coordinator. A 2nd down and 2. Maybe take a shot.
Travis gets rid of it. That's Toafili going out of bounds. And he's got 1st down yardage to the 45 of Louisville to grease the chains and move them.
It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch just the creativity, and not just in the play calling, but in Jordan Travis, you know, in taking advantage in every way, and just really molding this offense to fit the sophomore out of West Palm.
They got 13 yards on the previous play. Travis just has to get rid of it. Had a player right up in his grill. Okeke was putting the pressure on Jordan Travis.
Well, and able to get that ball to the turf, incomplete, lived to play another down. And a receiver definitely in the vicinity. So no flag for the grounding. And Travis wanted a flag for the roughing, but he won't get that. Nice and clean, and a good pressure there by Okeke. A 2nd and 10 now.
Travis threw for 191 yards a week ago in the win against North Carolina, and now flag.
Ball start. Number 87. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
And this is what I'm talking about, Tom. The procedure penalties, there were way too many of them last week, really throughout this season. And this is a leader. This is a vet right here in Cameron McDonald. Even though he was a jackrabbit in high school, Long Beach Poly, you can't be jumpy. 2nd down and 15 now. You're going the wrong way. You can't have it.
Travis throws on the run near the 40, and caught coming back to the football was Jordan Young. Made the adjustment and has 1st down yardage. How about the sophomore from Conyers, Georgia?
They'll hurry over the ball. Watch him come back to this. Watch. Great receiver. Going to keep coming back, Go high point, pluck it. And then he turns and goes and gets even more out of it. Excellent job on 2nd down and 15 by Young to move those chains, and quick with the tempo now.
17 yards on that play to Young. Travis behind the intended receiver near the 20-yard line. That was McDonald, who had a big catch on the opening drive as Florida State took it into the end zone for their 1st and only touchdown so far. Told you that Travis took over in the game against Jacksonville State. Coming into today, Florida State had scored on 15 of 31 drives with Travis at the controls, and they've already scored once today. Toafili is number 9. Rounds that corner. Toafili right near the 1st down marker. There is a flag on the play.
Personal foul. Illegal blindside block. Number 45. Offense. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 2nd down.
Boy, that's tough. Little jet sweep that was pretty. There's the penalty flag coming down, but it was good blocking by Corbin outside to get that edge as well, able to get that corner turned. But a costly penalty, 2nd one here of this drive. Upper right corner is where you're going to see 45.
That's Preston Daniel on the illegal block, Chance.
You can't line up outside of the tackle box and come back in with the crack block. that's the flag that's thrown. So that one backs him way up. 2nd down and forever now.
3 of 8 passing for Travis. 60 yards, trying to add to the total over the middle. And that's a straight drop. Keyshawn Helton had it right in the breadbasket and lost control.
Boy, the ball's right there. I mean, can't get any better. A bit of a wobbler, but that doesn't matter and shouldn't matter. Keyshawn Helton, that's going to be probably a 1st down and then some on a 2nd down and 22, right in the middle of that zone, right in the heart of the Louisville defense. You got your quarterback playing his guts out. You got to step up and meet him. You got to help him out. Can't have those penalties, and you can't have those mistakes dropping the football.
2 for 3 on 3rd down. This is 3rd and 22. And Corbin on the run. Conservative 3rd down play from Florida State. So Mastromano is going to have to come out for Coach Norvell. Quick conversation with Jordan Travis. It was drops that plagued North Carolina late in that game against Florida State. Secured that win for the Noles. Mastromano the punt to Burns. This one hits at the 5 and down right near the 5-yard line of Florida State special teams. So before we continue, first we get a message from Bojangles.
Feed the whole family with a big Bo box. It's Bo time.
14-7 Cards in the first quarter. That lone win on the season for Louisville came September 12th right here against Western Kentucky, 35-21. Cunningham with 3 TD passes in that victory to start the season for Louisville. Penalty marker prior to the snap.
False start. Number 79. Offense. Half the distance to the goal. Still 1st down.
Cameron DeGeorge there on that offensive line. A couple changes there. Here today. Done a good job so far, but going the wrong way there. So can't go to full 5. So there's that. The little procedural penalties that have plagued Florida State creeping in over there on the Louisville side.
From their own end zone. Right up the middle with Hawkins. Couple of TD runs of 9 and 70 yards in the first quarter.
Not much there for him that time, but that hasn't been the case so far today. Here's touchdown number 1 from 9 yards out, lunging for that pylon. And then here's that 70-yarder off to the races. And down the stretch they come. Running the horses around here.
Looked like authentic at the Kentucky Derby, the most recent winner. And this is out close to a 1st down. Forcing his way past the 15-yard line was Hawkins. Not to be denied.
Well, we showed you the 9-yard touchdown run, and it was the big catch, really, to get him down there by Tutu Atwell of 66 yards. So the big plays have been there in the first quarter here today, and they've been missing here this season. It's a 1st down and 10 right now.
How about 96 yards rushing in the first quarter for Hawkins? They will throw this one. This is Fitzpatrick, and the pile moves up close to the 1st down marker, and a flag comes out late on that Florida State bench. That was Dez Fitzpatrick, the senior.
Yeah, he just got to let up. You know, just it's frustrating when they're hitting the big plays on you, when they're having some success, but you've got to be smart. You got to be smarter than that. You're just crushing your team.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Automatic, 1st down.
You know what I mean?
Brendan Gant is number 44 in white. Saw Coach Norvell up in his face with a quick conversation, one-sided, I would assume.
And it's, it's sometimes you can look past, you can say, hey, we can't do that when it's just being extra aggressive, but that's just silly. Yeah, I mean, just so costly. So just give him a freebie like that.
Little gadget action for Louisville.
I was gonna say.
They're looking for Hawkins, and now the flags are out. There's 2 of them on the field.
Oh, wow. This one was a little bit easier to throw than that last flag on the sidelines.
Holding. Defense, number 58. The 10-yard penalty results in a first down.
Well, I guess you could say it's a good read anyway. You got 58 there and just a little bit too early. 58 is Dennis Briggs. And Briggsy knows, he read it, but he reacted the wrong way. Just got to flatten out and shoot. He reacts differently. He picked that ball off. He was there so early. But still, there's another penalty flag. Second big one here on this drive.
1st and 10 in Florida State real estate. Cunningham shakes a tackle. First down and more. Malik Cunningham weaving his way inside the 15 for Louisville. 35 yards on the scamper by Cunningham.
Boy, here comes the pressure. Like it's been there all day long. The blitz is on, but nobody out the back door. A little pump, and number 3 is not going to run out of bounds. Newsflash. He told us this week there's a rule in our quarterback meeting room that we are not allowed to slide and run out of bounds, and his guys know it. Blocking down the field all the way. There's Tutu Atwell again blocking down the field, and they're knocking at the door.
Cunningham lofts it to the end zone. It is incomplete and out of bounds. Tutu Atwell tried to make the over-the-shoulder grab with Brownlee Jr. back there with him.
Nice job by Brownlee here. You got to give yourself some cushion running that route. Give your quarterback a little bit of space to throw it, and just no room left. No real estate, but he threw it only where he could throw it. Brownlee right there in his hip pocket. The redshirt freshman's been good, not to mention Sante Samuel. We may not hear much from him today because 26 over on his island will just take away anything over on his side. He's been fantastic. Had 3 or 4 pass breakups and 2 big ones in the end zone, as Sante Samuel did against UNC last week.
Cunningham throws to the end zone, and a touchdown, Louisville. Ian Pfeiffer on the catch, and Cunningham shaken up behind the play. "13 yards, Cunningham to Pfeiffer."
There you see the tough look on the face of Malik Cunningham. He was slow to get up. Hit as he threw that football. And how about this throw?
Turner to make it 21-7.
We'll take a look at Cunningham. Hope he's okay over on the sidelines. There's the pressure coming. And the big pop there immediately by Robinson. There's the hit. No flag there. But the damage is done on a little boot. We got coming from across the field. Ian Pfeiffer, the last try to Tutu Atwell, the other side of the field. A little bit too strong. Not much room there. This one thrown beautifully. Right there into the breadbasket of Ian Pfeiffer.
11 TD passes now this season for Cunningham. That 13 yards to Pfeiffer, his second TD catch of the year. And now it's 21-7 Louisville.
And Cunningham, he's turning it all down. He had a hand cramp, a cramp in his forearm of his throwing hand in the third quarter against Notre Dame last week. And he just couldn't work it out. It took a while. Eventually came back into the football game, but we talked to him on the phone this week. He said he's never had anything like it. It was crazy. I mean, obviously not a good thing to have if you're a quarterback in your throwing hand, but he worked it out, and looks like he's going to be able to work this hard shot by Robinson right as he threw the ball out as well.
Cunningham only threw for 124 yards total last week in the loss at Notre Dame, 12-7. He was 16 of 19 through the air. There will not be a return on this one. 2:54 to go in the first quarter, and the Cards are racking up the numbers. Time for Jordan Travis and the Noles to try to respond late in this first quarter.
And it's really hard to believe that this has been an offense for Louisville anyway, Tom, that hasn't had those big plays. We've seen nothing but the big plays. The Cunningham run on that drive to get him down there to set up the 13-yard touchdown pass to Pfeiffer. And FSU would like a couple of those big ones to go their way right now as well, trailing by 14.
First down, they're going to run it. Webb went over 100 yards rushing to lead the team with 109 a week ago against North Carolina. James, you're mentioning those big plays. Jordan Travis completed passes of 58, 39, and 33 yards in the win against North Carolina a week ago.
Nothing but big plays, and none bigger than the two punts that they blocked. Special teams was huge in that win.
Noles have 5 block kicks this season to lead the nation. Travis heaves it. Incomplete. Jordan Young was the receiver. And number 2, Chandler Jones, back there defensively for the Cardinals.
Well, on the run, trying to get it out there to 83. But look at Chandler Jones, the Miami guy. We talked about these Miami players. You think they don't want to beat the hometown kids? The Florida State Seminoles. From Miami Central, Chandler Jones. He's had an outstanding season. Big last week, although he had the missed tackle on Ian Book on his touchdown run. Really good cornerback out of Miami Central, forcing a 3rd down and 7 now.
They've missed their last 2 third-down conversion attempts. Travis, little finesse on that one. It's going to be short of the marker. It was complete to Wilson. And then the big hit by Russ Yeast to pull him down short of a first down.
Well, and they love their senior leader, Russ Yeast, on this sidelines. Look at the fire. Everybody's slapping hands with number 3. And a nice heady job by Yeast. They didn't bring the blitz. Not a lot of pressure there on Travis, so he had plenty of time to let him cross. But Yeast is letting the receiver cross in front of him. Go ahead. Complete that one all day long. I'll step up and make the drop and force the 4th down punt. He knows where those chains are. It's a well-coached secondary, and it's a smart senior leader.
Mastromanno to punt. Burns is deep, standing at his 25. A range to his left, meet it at the 31 for the fair catch. A punt of 41 yards late in the first. This is just the first of 2 on your regional sports networks. Coming up after us, it's Virginia Tech and Wake Forest. Virginia Tech traveling to Wake for the first time since 2014. Deeks won that game, James, in 2014, 6-3 in double overtime. So who knows what might happen in Winston-Salem. Number 19, Virginia Tech against Wake Forest. Yeah, Virginia Tech with a win against BC last week.
Oh, yeah. How about the offense of Virginia Tech? The defense has been up and down, but the thing is, when you look at them, these poor guys, they've had, more than anybody, they've had COVID guys missing time and time again, and just piecemealing a team together, but finding a way to win.
Berkeley on the carry. So it's been a steady diet of Javian Hawkins for the most part. They mix in a little Berkeley as well late in the first. Inside of a minute to go. Hawkins 96 yards on 5 carries. That's an average of 19.2 yards per carry and includes a 70-yard TD run. Hawkins in the first. 2nd and short. Drop for a loss. So that was Berkeley again, and he ran into Marvin Wilson, the senior.
There's that penetration, and it's been there. There's not been a lack of penetration, but there's been a lack of dropping guys when they have gotten back there. There's a better job. Robinson's going to come firing through first to change the direction of the runner, and then Wilson cleaning it up. So what do you got here on a 3rd down and 4? And this is a big one. The Noles would love to get off the field here.
Don't know that we'll see this 3rd and 4. And we won't. That'll do it for the first quarter. Florida State scored on its first possession, but the Cards came right back with a cross and an uppercut. 3 TDs in the first quarter. 2 from Javian Hawkins. Adds up to 21-7. Louisville, this is ACC football.
Seven for Scott Satterfield's Louisville Cardinals after 1 quarter of play, and there's a big reason why as you look at those first quarter stats. 17.3 yards a play in the first 15 for the hometown team. And here they are back out on the field, 3rd down.
Cunningham's pass is complete. That's a first down. Braden Smith has the catch.
44-yard line. And then Smith for another.
First down from their own 44 to start the second quarter for Malik Cunningham and the Louisville Cardinals. Looking for that first ACC win of 2020. Cunningham on the play fake. That pass complete. Near midfield and out of bounds as he hit Marshawn Ford.
Nice job by Jerian Jones to stay at home. The misdirection and bringing it back across and hustling to drop the receiver, but still a good play call. And this is something, getting ahead in the game when it comes to those chains. Success on 1st and 2nd down, and you don't get yourself. Both these offenses have found themselves in tough situations in 3rd down and long, 2nd down and very longs throughout this season. A lot more doable here.
Inside the 45-yard line and another first down. Maurice Berkeley, redshirt senior.
Yeah, Hassan Hall, if you're wondering, out of the game. Usually the second guy in there behind Javian Hawkins. So it's going to be all Berkeley behind 10 today. He's spelling the speedster, who's had some big plays of his own.
21 points in that first quarter. Louisville had 24 points combined in the first quarter all season coming into the day.
Prior to the snap,
and markers.
false start, number 75, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And Tom, and this is the first quarter anyway, is what a lot of people expected coming into this season after the outstanding first year by Satterfield and his team last year, that this may be the sleeper. This may be the team that can beat a couple teams that they shouldn't, aren't supposed to. You know, they've got some defensive tools. They, of course, got so much speed on the offensive side of the ball and a veteran quarterback. This is what people expected.
Atwell backtracking, in trouble, out of trouble, and complete. Marshawn Ford caught it from Tutu Atwell. It didn't look good to start, James, but it finished okay.
Boy, the whole way through, he's trying to get it in his hands to buy some time. And again, only somebody with the speed of Tutu Atwell can buy enough time to just even get that pass off, let alone not have it some huge disaster. We'll take a look real quick, though, to see if his knee's down. When he has, you could say he has control of the football right there. So this one is probably going to come back. So a good effort by Tutu Atwell. We'll take a look at it.
So, James, they're going to review that play, and we'll be back in just a moment.
1, 2, 3,
So the call was overturned on that previous play, and they determined that Tutu Atwell's knee was in fact down, and a loss of 9 yards on the play for the Cardinals. So erase that completion to Ford.
So there's the knee, and that's considered control as he pins it there to pick it up against the turf.
Fantastic replay from our technical crew, James, to confirm that call. So there was indisputable video evidence to overturn the call, which on the field was the completion to Marshawn Ford from Tutu Atwell. Now, 2nd and 24. Cunningham airs it out. In stride, caught, and into the end zone. Touchdown, Tutu Atwell of 58 yards from Malik Cunningham.
Second down and 25 after Tutu Atwell's knees on the ground. The hard play pass. There's nobody underneath, obviously, and I guess nobody over the top as well because of big-time trail there. But Tutu Atwell is so tough to keep up with, but you got to keep a lid on him. 2 catches, 124 yards, and finally into the end zone for number 1 here today.
So TD passes of 13 yards and now 58 yards by Cunningham, James.
And we said we wanted big plays Saturday. They just keep coming and coming and coming, kind of like Ali. Having a great time here today if you're a Louisville fan.
And I'm going to talk to you about purpose.
The 5th receiving TD of the season for Tutu Atwell. 2nd TD pass of the game. Malik Cunningham. This one 58 yards.
Linebackers, of course, are selling out on that play fake. We've got one man on the fastest man on the field, perhaps. That's Travis Jay, the safety. He made his first career start, the redshirt freshman, against Miami a couple weeks ago. So that's a tall order, too, trying to track down that guy.
And that is our Yellowwood 5-star drive summary. 58 yards to Tutu Atwell. He's got over 2,000 career receiving yards and 19 career touchdown receptions for Tutu Atwell, the All-American from a season ago, who set the school record, James, with 1,276 receiving yards a season ago to lead the ACC, and he caught 12 TDs. That is one productive receiver, number 1 for the Louisville Cardinals. Douglas. So the Cards exploding offensively so far. 292 total yards, 4 scores, 2 through the air, 2 on the ground. Jordan Travis, what's your response to what you've seen so far? We're going to find out right now. James Bates.
Big series here for Travis in this offense. They need to go down and cut this lead back in half.
Remember, Florida State scored on its first possession of the game to take a 7-0 lead. That's 28 unanswered points by Louisville, which also scored on its first possession.
Well, they look so good doing it. Just methodically marched right down the field. Started off with a nice completion to McDonald. Some hard running by Webb, but there's the penetration by this defense on that first down.
Travis flings it out. They're saying incomplete pass, so it was indeed a forward pass to Webb and incomplete, but a forward pass not by much.
Well, Rajay Burns, fantastic job. Refuses to be blocked, keeping that outside shoulder free, and takes his would-be blocker with him. That's Jordan Young trying to block him out right there, but Burns takes him with him and disrupts that whole play. Great job. No fumble, just incomplete, so it's 3rd down and 8 now. Where are they trying to run those routes? Find those chains right there.
Noles have missed on their last 3 attempts at 3rd down. This one at the 40 is caught and completed, a first down. Warren Thompson secures that football, and the chains will move for Florida State. Key third down conversion.
Boy, nice big target, almost like a tight end. Big 6'3", 205-pounder. And again, breaks it off right there at the sticks. Nice pitch and catch, and a much-needed pitch and catch right there to get a fresh set of downs.
From the 41, after 14 yards on the last play, this one is incomplete.
Pass from Jordan Travis.
And looking again for Thompson. Chandler Jones is back there in coverage, and Thompson shaken up a little bit after the play.
They're grabbing that hamstring, and there's Chandler Jones one more time, right there with them. Got to be careful, snap that head around so they don't throw that flag when you're trying to defend it and not looking for that ball. But tight coverage and a tight hamstring. Hopefully Thompson can be back. Remember, still without Tamari and Terry. Their star on the outside. They should get him back before too long, though.
Thompson had only 3 catches coming into the game. Here's Travis improvising and throwing down by the 10 and broken up. Jordan Young thought he had a chance at it, but it was knocked away by Cottrell Clark.
Boy, excellent job by Clark. He's beaten. Ball's floating in the air. What does he do? He puts his head down. He gets back into position and then watches the eyes of the receiver, snaps that head around, but he never loses a feel, never lets separation from where that receiver is. That's a fantastic play by the sophomore from Richmond, Virginia, transferred from Liberty. Liberty's been playing some pretty good defense here lately. His old school, an excellent job there by the cornerback.
3 for 6 on third down. Deep into the play clock. Travis escapes the pocket. He's got room to roam and run. He crosses the 50 into Louisville territory, and he's got first down yardage.
Well, back to the script here. You know, of all those runs against North Carolina last week, very few were called from the sidelines by this staff, by Kenny Dillingham, saying, hey, we're going to run the football with you, Travis. That read's not there. Tuck it and go. Move those chains. Let's do him what he does best right there. And they need a whole lot more of that.
12 yards on the run by Travis. Flags are out prior to the snap.
Start. Number 55, offense, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Hey, I mean, just throw your hands up. And it's, you know, Florida State fans and coaches alike. I mean, they've ad nauseum. They've preached this in practice. Look, you got the momentum. You finally here for just the second time in this first half have the defense on their heels, and that now is 6 penalties by FSU for 65 yards. It's a momentum killer. Yeah, it's just 5 yards, but it's so much more than that to go back the other way.
First and 15. Run game inside the 40. Backing his way down, LaDamian Webb, the sophomore from Opelika, Alabama. Some hard-nosed running from number 8.
I'll say, on one leg, he still manages to power for a couple extra yards. There's Kenny Dillingham, the offensive coordinator.
Spent last year as the offensive coordinator at Auburn. Calls Webb's number again, and it's a good call. Look at Webb now for 17 yards. Starting to get in a rhythm there for number 8.
Absolutely, and now they'll put the tempo on and keep the pedal to the metal here, this offense. Starting to feel it a little bit, right on the 20-yard line. Back-to-back, good strong runs, though, by the little big man, LaDamian Webb.
Travis directs a little bit of traffic. 9.5 minutes to go in our second quarter. Travis throws it backwards at the 20 to Wilson. And Louisville saw it all the way. Marlon Character, number 12.
That was rolling the dice a little bit, too. Travis tucks it and keeps it. Maybe he gains about 3 or 4. That one, talk about throwing it in the traffic. A lot of things can go wrong with that, but they complete it and live to play this second down and 11 now. Nice job defensively.
It's well out of bounds to Helton. Travis threw his first career TD pass against Jacksonville State, and Helton caught it at the goal line against the Gamecocks in that win.
You know, with the defense that's played so well for the coordinator, Brian Brown, former Ole Miss Rebel, it's tough because it's such a good covered defense, a secondary, and Florida State really has had a tough time against man coverage, but that's where Travis can hurt you the most because you got a secondary with their backs turned on the quarterback.
And now 3rd and 11, right side. There's some room for Corbin. He's inside the 10. That's very close to 1st and goal. Is it enough for Corbin? It is. So just inside the 10, 1st and goal, Florida State. 12 yards on the run, Jayshon Corbin. It's a nice call on 3rd down. This will also be Corbin. And ran into Monty Montgomery, number 7 in black and red.
There's been some good linebacker play that we've had a chance to watch in person here throughout this season. And this guy right here, I've been excited to watch number 7 get after it. Very physical guy. He's not even listed as a starter, Monty Montgomery. The junior linebacker back up to C.J. Avery, who's pretty good as well. But makes all kinds of plays. That time he was there for Corbin as he tried to cut back and stand him up.
Timeout, injured Louisville player.
So it's going to be 2nd and goal. Get the ball at the 9.5-yard line. Reset of the play clock. Red zone for Florida State this season. 16 scores on 21 tries, 12 TDs, and that includes the first quarter rushing TD from 8 yards away from Jordan Travis. 7:40 on the clock. Travis dancing, tries the stiff arm, maybe got back to the line of scrimmage, could not shed Cottrell Clark, number 13.
Clark doing his job in coverage and against the run right here too. He just knew that Jordan Travis was going to find a way to slip out. So many times he has. But hanging on for dear life as a sophomore cornerback and able to drop him and force a 3rd down and goal now from inside the 10.
2 for 2 on 3rd down in the drive. But this is 3rd and goal from just inside the 10-yard line of Louisville. Travis wants to throw. Throws on the run down near the 3-yard line. He got it to Jordan Young. Clark made the tackle.
Good job by Clark, letting him complete it down underneath as if it was a 3rd down situation. I think you got to keep them out right here. They're going to keep the offense out on the field. On the road, down 21, trying to get something going your way. Louisville was so good in the red zone against Notre Dame. Can they step up a little goal line stand action here on 4th down?
7 of 11 on 4th in the season. 4th and goal to the end zone. And a touchdown. Ontario Wilson on the catch on 4th and goal for Florida State. And they get it in the end zone.
I don't care how good you are covering in the secondary. You can't be asked to cover forever. And that's what the rollout does with Travis. Everybody fearing is going to tuck it and go. And the big body of Pokey Wilson able to just wall off the defender. And what a big touchdown for the Noles.
Officially a 4-yard TD pass from Jordan Travis to Ontario Wilson.
The leading receiver with Terry out right there. They find him in the paint. Big touchdown for Wilson, and doesn't Norvell know it? 28-14 Louisville.
Travis with the TD pass to Ontario Wilson. As they go for it on 4th down. They've had a lot of success on 4th down, but that was 4th and goal And now 28-14. No return from the Cards as we check in with Lindsay.
Well, Tom, as you said, an absolutely huge touchdown for Florida State by Ontario Wilson. Florida State actually has a tradition. Each week they choose one player who will bring out a sledgehammer. Now, the sledgehammer gets used after the game. If they end up winning the game, they use the sledgehammer to smash a rock that has the opponent's logo on it. So Wilson brings out the sledgehammer today. Must have been pretty pumped up because he picks up that huge touchdown. Guys?
Absolutely, Lindsay. There's another look at the touchdown. Maybe he'll get to break that rock. They still got some making up to do. And it was Coach Norvell pounding the rock after that UNC win. Beat the number 5 team in the nation. First time since 1965, the unranked Noles beat a top 5 team at home. What a big win.
Yeah, they beat Georgia back in 1965, 10-3, James, as Atwell has the football for Louisville.
Now it's back to work. They want to break that rock on defense here. They can't let Louisville march it down the field, hit them with a big play again. They got to keep Atwell and company in front of them. Remember, it will be Louisville in the second half to get the opening kickoff as they won the toss and deferred.
First TD catch of the season for Wilson, making it 28-14. Right side near the 40, Javian Hawkins.
Showing a little bit of power. And oh, how's this for power? Here we go. Let's see what you got. Look at the smile on Mike Norvell's face. First year head man, giving a few extra. That's right. Take it out. That's all the frustration that built up. Remember when the team went down to Miami, he was hit with COVID. He was, he had it, and he was unable to be there in person with his team for quite some time, and still a young staff, and with this new team trying to train them on Zoom, but they're starting to come together more and more.
Hawkins on the run. If Norvell's going to smash that rock with that kind of power, I want him to wear some protective goggles.
Yeah.
If he's like what he's got on right now, as a matter of fact, would work.
Oh, man.
I mean, he put some thunder into that one, didn't he?
Like, hey, hold on, guys. Hold on. Hey, can I get some goggles?
Just for safety purposes, it would make me feel a lot better if he would just do that the next time they smash a rock in the locker room with a sledgehammer.
That stuff will jump up at you. You're right, Tom.
Speaking of sledgehammers, Hawkins over 100 yards rushing today for the 11th time in his career. And Cunningham will tuck and run and bounce out of bounds. 13 yards, Malik Cunningham. First down, Louisville. James, what a football game so far between these two teams.
Usually when you get your hopes up, you're going to call a game, and just looking at it, I was like, my goodness, this is going to be, it may not be the gossip across the college football world going into it. One win Louisville against Western Kentucky in week 1, and Florida State, they've had their struggles even though they beat UNC. The whole world isn't watching, but they should be. And call them up if you're watching. Call your buddies. Tell them this is going to be a heck of a second half as well.
Cunningham dumps it off. Cut down near the 45-yard line was Marshawn Ford. Emmett Rice, number 1. With the play, Gant as well.
There's Gant. A little flag thrown his way earlier, making up for it. Nice break on the ball. And stop them in their tracks. Got to back it up. The consistency has to be here. Here's a big second down. Don't just wait till third down to try to get off the field. He starts right now on a second down and 8.
Ford had that TD catch in the third quarter that put Louisville up 7-6 on Notre Dame a week ago. As Hawkins takes it to the right side. He's had some big games. Went for 155 against Georgia Tech. Had a huge game against Miami as well. And now a timeout with 3:14 to go. It's taken by Florida State.
As he hits that zone, Hawkins has to have great vision. They bring him down right here, setting up a 3rd down and 6 for the Seminole D.
Congratulations. Welcome to the AFLAC program.
AFLAC.
Now tell me, what does Aflac do?
Aflac pays you money directly to help with unexpected medical bills.
And is Aflac health insurance?
No, but it can help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover.
That's right. Are there any questions?
Coach!
Yes?
Can I get one of those cool blue blazers?
You know I can't play favorites. All right, let's talk coverage. It's go time.
Get help with expenses health insurance doesn't cover. Get to know us at Aflac.com.
Want an easy way to help take care of your vehicle? Z-Max might.
WinnerLandroid.com. Your local Sherwin-Williams paint store. Painting questions? Ask Sherwin-Williams. And Toyota. Visit your local Toyota dealers today.
The Florida State legend, Bobby Bowden, a couple of national titles in 93 and 99, and great to hear the health outlook continues to improve for the legendary coach. I got to work with his son Tommy in the studio, and we had fun every Saturday talking ACC football. He told me some great stories about Bobby Bowden. 316 career victories, James, in 34 years.
St. Bobby, glad he's feeling better. 1976 to 2009, a couple national championships in there. 93, yeah, I was on the wrong end of that one over in Gainesville. And then 1999, 12-time ACC champs. And we asked Mike Norvell about Bobby Bowden and how much he's been around him. And he said, well, let me just tell you this. I brought him into a meeting a couple months ago. He came in, and when his former players, Odell Higgins, Coach Dugan, their eyes lit up when he came in the room.
Marshawn Ford down the sideline. Ford to the end zone, and he's in. The Cardinals 5 for 5 on drives in the game, and they're all touchdowns. 43 yards. Ford takes it in.
They just keep coming. Marshawn Ford had the only points for Scott Satterfield's Louisville team in the 12-7 loss a week ago in South Bend against Notre Dame. A bit on the smaller side for a tight end, but he makes up for in size and height. He makes up in speed, off to the races, and no one's going to get him. And just when Florida State starts to chip their way back into this one, Louisville just answers with another big hitter on offense.
So if this stands, it's under official review, but if it stands, it's the third TD pass of the game for Cunningham. Either way, he's now got 12 straight games with a TD pass, and this is Ford reaching for the goal line. Now, the call on the field, James, was touchdown, so you must have indisputable video evidence to overturn the call, which on the field was touchdown.
I think that last look is going to be our better look, and it's really going to be close because that ball has to cross that plane. And again, that may not be the best angle, but here it is right here. All right, so knee is down there, and it could be argued that front tip of the ball there, you see the white stripe right there in his right hand. The angles
that is so close, James. You're splitting hairs at this point.
Wow. And as they look at it here in the house, they're actually playing Chubb Rock. Chubb Rock coming back hard for 1990. You remember Chubb Rock? 1990, Chubb Rock jumped up on the scene.
Oh, big fan. Huge. Gary Patterson is our referee.
After further review, it was determined that the ball carrier's knee was down while the ball was over the 1/2 yard line. Therefore, to be first and goal at the 1/2 yard line, the clock will start on my signal.
There you see the reaction from Marshawn Ford, who led all tight ends in the ACC with 7 touchdowns last year from right here in Louisville, Ballard High School, a former walk-on, and obviously former all the plays he's been making for his hometown team, the Louisville Cardinals. So we just have to strap it back up inside the 1 yard line. It's a first down and goal.
So remember, Florida State, a couple of seconds ago, back at the 3:14 mark, took a timeout, hoping to get the ball back. Well, now Louisville's knocking on the door again. First and goal from about the half-yard line. So Ford just shy of the goal line for the touchdown score. They're going to try to run it in on the right side. There's a big-time collision there. Hawkins and Rice. You heard those pads pop. There's also a penalty marker on the field.
Personal foul. Illegal chop block. Number 55 and number 66. 15-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
That's Caleb Chandler, Renato Brown. So, what looked to be a touchdown, and then, just a couple plays later, maybe we can punch it in now. You're going to have to get creative and do a little bit more work. There you see, right in the middle of your screen, one high and one low. Yeah, I think it was 66 rather than 56 pickup sticks. Cole Bentley, the senior center. Costly. Now you're back at the 16-yard line trying to punch it in. How big was that review and that turnover of what looked to be a touchdown by Marshawn Ford, but it is still first down here.
Hawkins trying to fight through contact. Did the best he could to get close to the 12-yard line. Jarvis Brownlee Jr. took him out, and a timeout is called by Florida State. So it will have one remaining with 2:36 to go in our second quarter, and Louisville trying to score in its 5th straight drive. Trying to stay perfect. Before we continue, first a message from Works Landroid.
Works Landroid robotic lawnmower. Enter to win at winalandroid.com. The future of lawn care is here.
Well, there you saw the penetration again. Florida State has done such a good job, and Louisville has really struggled keeping defenders out of the backfield on the run and in pass situations. The penetration was there. Hawkins tried to make something of it as he spins off the initial lick, but a good job by the rest of the Florida State defenders to rally and make sure there was nothing there for a guy that can do so much damage if he gets to that edge. They wouldn't let him find it right there, though.
9 carries, 115 yards for Hawkins. A couple of TD runs for Coach Satterfield in the first half. Trying to stay perfect as an offense with 2:36 to go. That penalty moved the ball back from the half-yard line. Hawkins just carried it to the 12, so this is 2nd and goal from about the 11.5 maybe. Hawkins, who is 4th in the conference, averaging 104 yards per game, beyond that mark in the first half today against Florida State. Cunningham at quarterback. He wants to run. Tried to get away and got to the 10. So a short gain for Malik Cunningham. Janarius Robinson, Emmett Rice combining on the stop.
30-second timeout.
Now another timeout taken by Florida State, and that will exhaust their timeout allotment in the first half.
Great usage of those timeouts. Give your offense plenty of time when you can't stop the clock, and part of the reason too why Louisville is trying to run this football and not kill that clock and help them out. But a nice job there by Robinson. Use those hands, and to cave down, you use your hands to keep those offensive linemen off of you. Separate and come and flatten out and make the play. Nice job by him, and Emmett Rice as well.
2:30 to go in our second quarter. 28-14 Cards in front, and 6 teams within that top 25, including Notre Dame, part of the conference this season. 15 teams strong. Top 2 in winning percentage will play in Charlotte, James, in that championship game.
Well, NC State slipping in there this week. We had them in that Duke game last week, and that was a fun one, and it was a pretty good. It's a very physical football team as well. Defensively, they're fun to watch. So here's your 3rd down and goal now. It was a 1st and goal inside the 1. Now it's a 3rd and goal from the 10.
Cunningham to the right. Angling out of bounds near the 5-yard line. Rice cut off his avenue to the end zone. And now 4th and goal. Remember, they had 1st and goal from the half-yard line, and a penalty forced them back. A personal foul. And so unable to make up that yardage from the penalty, and it's 4th and goal from about the 5, and it appears that the field goal unit will, in fact, come onto the field for Louisville.
They've got a very solid kicker in Turner. His only miss was 52-yarder that hit the crossbar in tough winds in South Bend last week. I think this is the right call as much as you want that 7. One more possession, and what should be an interesting end of this first half and second half is big.
This was going to be from 23 yards away.
Delay of game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
If my math is correct, now it will be a 28-yard field goal, moving it back 5 yards. Turner is 4 of 5 on the season. As James mentioned, the miss at Notre Dame was from 52 yards away, and his long this season was 40 yards, and that was against Miami in a losing effort at home earlier this season for James Turner. Sophomore kicker to add 3 for Louisville. This from 28 yards away. 31-14. 1:44 to go in the second quarter. Malik Cunningham has only misfired once in this first half. 10 of 11, 208 yards, and a couple of TDs.
Well, if they wanted the big plays to come, 3 is the magic number. The accuracy has been there. Hasn't always been there this season, but it certainly has been today. And, of course, the escapability, not to mention the toughness, ending these runs very physical. And here he is finding Pfeiffer in the end zone for that last touchdown pass. And, well, the toughness. I mean, time and time again, we've seen him slow to get up. But he hasn't missed a snap. And hasn't missed much when it comes to throwing the football either. There you have it, 208 yards. A lot of those yards going to Tutu Atwell. And who can blame him? I'd find the speedster as well every chance you get.
Atwell's got 3 catches for 129 yards, including that 58-yarder from Malik Cunningham in the second quarter, here in our second quarter, and a 13-yard TD pass in the first quarter also for Cunningham. Douglas. Great move at the 30. Flag comes out, tail end of the play. And now a second penalty marker. While they sort that out, Atwell's receiving day is his 10th career, 100-plus yard receiving afternoon, including the TD grab of 58 yards. Big conference at the 40-yard line amongst the officials and our referee Gary Patterson in the white hat. 2 markers, very end of the return from Douglas. Satterfield's team is 5 for 5 on drives scoring, 4 TDs, and the 28-yard field goal moments ago from James Turner, who's only got 1 miss on the season.
Yeah, they certainly, while they both came late, those flags, they came at different stages. So I'm guessing, trying to figure out if they offset one another, if one's on the offense, one's on the defense.
There are 2 fouls during the return, both on the kicking team. Personal foul, face mask against the kicking team. That penalty's declined. Personal foul, unnecessary roughness against the kicking team, number 95. That penalty will be enforced 15 yards from the end of the kick, end of the run, first down.
So both against Satterfield's Cardinals, and that Thurman Geathers, the outside linebacker, little extracurricular activity is going to help out Jordan Travis in this Seminole offense. They don't have any timeouts left, but they've got plenty of time. There's Geathers, 97 ticks left. Go and try to make it possibly a 10-point lead for Louisville at halftime.
31 points in the first half, the most in the first half this season for the Cards. Travis on the scramble near the 40-yard line. He got 8 yards on the run. Cards averaging about 34 points in their 2 home games prior to today. A win and a loss. Win against Western Kentucky, loss against Miami.
You know, and as lopsided as that Miami score looked, it was 3 big plays they gave up on the ground. 21 points. Was huge in that one.
Travis got out of that crumbling pocket, and he slides safely into second base, located at the 26-yard line. 13 yards on the run from Travis.
Boy, nice and cool. And this is when this offense gets into a rhythm, and it's when it's that backyard feel. Let's just scrap and figure out, be creative, find ways to make it happen, especially in a 2-minute-0 type of feel like against UNC. Look out.
Nowhere to go for Travis on that one, and he knew it right away. C.J. Avery, number 9, the senior on the play for the Cards. Avery, the leading tackler from a season ago, playing in his 41st career game today. Travis, out of a secure pocket, throws on the run, down by the 2-yard line, and incomplete. Diving attempt from Wilson, who has a TD reception of 4 yards in this quarter from Travis.
You know, it looked like he had his tight end McDonald early, a little window. Here's the tail end of it. And the ball thrown out there trying to give Wilson a chance to get another touchdown, but it won't happen there. So the clock will stop with 36 seconds left and a 3rd down and 16. That loss of 6 there, the slip by Travis.
Travis now, James, 7 of 19, 88 yards, and the 1 TD pass to Ontario Wilson. On 3rd and long. Back to pass. Almost intercepted in the end zone off of the fingertips of Russ Yeast. This Louisville defense, James, has only 1 interception this season, and they were that close to number 2.
Well, this wasn't a smart throw. Excellent coverage underneath by Monty Montgomery as he was looking that time. He had him on the last snap. McDonald had him for a second. This time, I don't think he was ever open. Excellent coverage by the linebacker underneath, forcing the big high throw. And Russ Yeast, the senior's got to pull that one down. Force a field goal attempt here, though, this defense does.
$50 yards away. And it's no good from Grotehouse. Grotehouse had been 2 of 3 prior to that attempt, both makes against Georgia Tech. He had hit from 53 yards away against the Yellow Jackets, but from 50 yards away, it is no good from Parker Grotehouse.
Even with the 15-yard personal foul penalty on the nice kickoff return, still unable to do anything with it. And that's one thing that this defense, Scott Satterfield's defense, coached by Brian Brown, that they really started to do a better job of stiffening when they had to. You know, team marching a little bit in between the 30s and tightening down near the red zone, near the end zone.
23 seconds to work with. Flag is out. It's Berkeley on the carry.
There's no foul on the previous play for a chop block. 2nd down. Timeout, Louisville. That's their first timeout of the half. 30-second timeout.
17 seconds on the game clock for Scott Satterfield. Mike Norvell's team. 6 drives in that first half. They got a couple of TDs, the missed field goal a moment ago, and 3 straight punts sandwiched in between the TDs. So about the efficiency for Louisville, James, they've scored on every drive.
You know, while we've got a second here, we talked about Norvell missing some time with the team because of COVID, and It's worth pointing out here that his wide receiver coach, Ron Dugans, former Florida State Seminole player, back home with an illness, not COVID-related, and same with James Blackman, the backup quarterback, did not make the trip. So both of them are ill, but not COVID-related. So, you know, and one thing that shows, you watched that game last week, James Blackman, it was impressive to see a quarterback who it was his job. He handed it over to Jordan Travis. The way he supported his teammate, and always over there to pat him on the back, is, you know, a heck of a teammate, and that's special. You don't always see that in that situation, a very tough situation, and a very tough first half for Travis, the new quarterback, and FSU.
Pass is complete. That is Smith. He's down to the 37 and a timeout immediately from Louisville.
Trying to do a little something. Thought they were going to just run it out that first play here of this drive. Hand off to Berkeley. They use that timeout, and here's why. Trying to get it down there and give their field goal kicker at least one more shot at it. And Braden Smith, the sophomore, a couple catches today.
29 yards on the receptions for Smith. Got 22 on that previous catch. And the throw from Malik Cunningham, who is 11 of 12, 231 yards and the 2 TDs for Cunningham.
A little bit different when you look at the first half possessions for this Louisville offense. Nice job so far by Dwayne Ledford, the offensive coordinator that was at NC State for a few seasons in the ACC. And once he got up his sleeve with 9 seconds left, maybe get up there near that 20. There you see the target line.
Cunningham up to 12 TDs tossed this season. Throws that out to the right. Trying to spin away from trouble was Berkeley. There's 2 seconds on the game clock. Louisville takes the timeout with 2 seconds. .31-14 Cards. Just showed you that they've been able to harvest points on every single drive so far. And what are they going to do, James, with 2 seconds to go here in the second quarter?
Try to boot it in, get 3 more on there.
Turner's out there. He's already made a field goal this quarter from 28 yards away. James Turner, the sophomore.
Remember, he hit the crossbar from 52 out.
Guess how long this field goal is, James?
52.
52. As long as 40. That was against Miami here at Cardinal Stadium. From 52 yards away for Turner. And based on the trajectory, it appears that Florida State got a piece of it, or now there's a return, there's whistles. The half is over on the miss by Turner from 52 yards away. We'd have to get another look at it to confirm the deflection, but either way, it's a miss.
The half is over.
I think it's a block, already leading the country with 5 block kicks coming in Florida State, and they get their hand on another one, and that would make it 6. And you know, that's one thing they've done a very good job special teams-wise. John Papuchis, former defensive coordinator at a few schools, Nebraska and North Carolina, now the special teams coordinator.
So let's go down to Lindsay.
Hey, Coach, earlier this week you said you wanted to see more big plays out of your offense. I feel like that's all we've seen. Was that the ideal first half offensively you wanted to see?
Yeah, you know, we've been real close all year. We just hadn't hit on a lot of them. So, you know, a lot of the same plays. We made some plays in the first half, which was good. You know, good job by our defense holding them out there right before the half. I think that was big for us. We get the ball back right now, and, you know, hopefully we'll continue on. We got to continue being aggressive offensively.
Malik Cunningham is 12 for 13 already. He's got 2 TD passes. What have you thought of your quarterback so far?
I think he's playing good. You know, last couple of weeks. Last week against Notre Dame was very efficient in his passing. Tonight the same way, or today the same way. And, you know, the guys on the outside are making good catches and making plays. We got to just continue that on in the second half.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.
Tom?
Lindsay, thanks. 410 total yards for Coach Satterfield's offense in the first half. That's above their season average already in the first 2 quarters. Long TD pass to Atwell. And the Cards will go to the locker room, leading the Noles 31-14. Halftime, straight ahead from the Bill.
Extreme Amy
Welcome to your local Toyota dealer halftime report with the Louisville Cardinals leading the Florida State Seminoles 31-14.
This is Driven. Mike Norvell, presented by your local Toyota dealers.
I could not be more honored to stand in front of you, to have this opportunity, to be a part of the Florida State football family. Obviously, I felt like I was in a really good situation there at Memphis, and we'd had a lot of success. It was going to have to take the absolute right opportunity for me to leave. And Florida State, such a unbelievable story program, tremendous tradition. I really believed it was just the right fit. When you can come to be a part of a program and to be able to invest in these young men, to help them in all aspects of their life, just make sure that they stay focused on the ultimate objective, and that is of their own personal growth and helping position themselves to be successful after their years of college football is over with.
Florida State head coach Mike Norvell is in quarantine tonight after testing positive with the coronavirus.
Every day, you have to control the things that you can control, and we've had to live that out. Not only on the field but off the field. With COVID and all the different things that have kind of shown up. Things that have been taken away. There's just so much change, and a lot of things that these guys, they have no say over, no control. But we can always have control of our attitude, of our approach, in each day that we get to live.
To the 10, 5, 3, 2, 1, touchdown FSU, touchdown Florida State.
We knew coming in that there was going to be some challenges. There was going to be some things that had to get established for us to build that foundation back to where we want to go. But we are continuing to push and develop and focus on those little things to push to an elite level of what we can do and playing to the level that they're capable of.
Driven, Mike Norvell, is presented by your local Toyota dealers. The new 2020 Toyota 4Runner. Visit Toyota.com for more information.
It's bow time.
No. Out of gas on game day? Drop a big bow box on it. Feed a family of 4 with 8 pieces of chicken, biscuits, fixins, and tea.
It's bow time.
When you pay extra for a turbocharged engine, you might feel the need to show it off.
Kickoff Live crew. He's Michael Felder, our gridiron guru, alongside Sam Acho. I am Amina Smith. Guys, we'll get you back out to Louisville in just a few. However, let's take a look at the matchup that's on the horizon. Wake Forest taking on Virginia Tech. Felder, I'll start with you first. What are you looking for in that matchup?
Well, Virginia Tech wants to stay in the hunt, right? They want to stay in that race, that fight to try to get to Charlotte. And so I think that starts with them offensively. And so with Wake Forest, a team that's kind of been limping through the season, you got to make sure you stay right offensively. And the real goal here is going to be Hendon Hooker starting the game and finishing the game so that they have their best weapons available on offense starting at the quarterback spot.
Absolutely, and we saw Virginia Tech, they beat NC State, they beat Duke, they lost to UNC, which is one of the top teams in the nation, and so I'm excited to see what they do this week. Wake Forest is struggling a little bit, but I think it's going to be a really good game.
Felder, let's go to your side of the ball, defense. What are you looking for there?
It's our side of the ball, right?
That's true. You both, you and Sam.
Emmanuel Belmar, and this is a guy that's lived in the backfield pretty consistently. He's done really well. I think he had 3 sacks against Duke in that game you referenced. So for me, I'm looking at him, but the rest of this Dax Hollifield, Rayshard Ashby, I'm looking at those guys to step up and make plays.
Yeah, a big matchup between Wake Forest and Virginia Tech coming up. But don't forget, we are with you each and every Saturday morning. We're your new home for college football coverage as we get you ready for another College Football Saturday. That's College Kickoff Live. Check your local listings. And after this break, we'll get you back out to Louisville for the second half.
Amy McGrath.
Trick when it comes to the big plays. Hey, we need the big plays. Boy, you got them. After a nice catch, 66 yards by Tutu Atwell, scoring got started to answer by Javian Hawkins from 9 yards out. That made it 7-7. Then You like that one? Well, then you're going to love this one. 70 yards. The zone, it looked like it was stuffed. Nobody there, but back out the back door goes the sophomore from Cocoa, Florida.
11th time in his career he's gone over 100 yards rushing. Did it in the first half, James.
In runs like that, this is what happens. It sets up that pass. You got to respect the run. You got to respect Javian Hawkins. He's hurt you so many times, and that set things up for the play action pass. The boot in that situation to Pfeiffer, and 2 + 2 = 6. 58-yard touchdown pass from Mikhail Cunningham to Tutu Atwell out of Miami Northwestern, and that puts us at 31-14 at halftime. Seminoles getting another block kick. That's 6 for the season now to end the half as they block the James Turner try. But just look at it. The penalties, 6 for Florida State. They have got to clean that up in the second half if they want to fight their way back into this ball game.
That's our game summary presented by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. And James, credit Florida State, though. They scored a late touchdown, and they did it on 4th and goal to get 14 points on the board in the first half.
Well, coming in, they were one of the top teams, 7 of 11, I believe, on 4th down tries in the country. That puts them at 8 of 12. And so you better believe that they're going to use all 4 downs if they can in this second half, try to find a way to win.
Jordan Travis with the TD pass late in the second quarter, and a missed field goal very late by Louisville, which had scored on every single drive up until that point in a very productive first half. Over 400 yards of total offense for the Cards in that first half. They've got the halftime lead, 31-14. We're coming back to Louisville in just a moment. Moments away from the start of our third quarter with the Cards on top of the Noles, 31-14. Moments ago, Lindsey Riley with the head coach of Florida State, Mike Norvell.
Coach, Malik Cunningham looks pretty comfortable for Louisville. What's your plan for the second half in order to put more pressure on him?
Well, obviously we got to be able to create a pass rush. You know, obviously they've hit a couple of explosive plays in the run game. I think he's done a nice job. We got to finish tackles when we're in a position to make tackles, and we got to get them out of rhythm. They're very comfortable right now. We've got to continue to attack, and we got to go make plays here in the second half to force them out of that rhythm.
What was your message to your offense here at halftime in order to get in the end zone more?
Yeah, we just got to focus on the play that's in front of us. All right, we've seen what we're capable of throughout the course of the year. We just got to go out there and play every snap as its own play, and I believe in what this team can do.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you,
Tom.
So, James, last week, Coach Norvell and the Noles had a 31-7 halftime lead and made it stand up 38-28. This week, they find themselves trailing 31-14 to a 1-4 Louisville team that has played them tough from start to finish in our first 2 quarters.
Yeah, without a doubt, they got to flip that script, and they got to do it right away as Louisville will receive the opening kickoff here in the second half. And it was an offense for Mike Norvell that didn't score in that second half. They just hung on for dear life after that 31 points in the first. 2 goose eggs in the third and fourth quarter. They're looking for a little bit different deal drawn up here today. First things first, they got to figure out a way to stop this Louisville offense as they get the ball here first, which is been few and far between there in the first half.
Big plays for the Cards, adding up to 410 yards in total in that first half. It's already above their season average of 383 per game, which was 13th in the conference. And they will get the ball to start our second half and third quarter. From about the 2, Watkins chopped down at the 25-yard line. Jordan Watkins in the return of 24 yards for the Cardinals.
It hasn't been the smoothest of junior seasons for Malik Cunningham, but this today, those numbers are looking pretty good. Not only has he thrown the ball well, only off 1 time, 12 of 13 in the first half, but he's also run it. He's been a little bit more of a threat on the ground, making things happen with his feet. And he can do it all. Can he hang on and keep it going here in the second half against this Knoll defense?
Cunningham. That was Pfeiffer. He had a 13-yard TD catch in the first quarter from Cunningham, who has 2 TD passes.
Well, nice job by Pfeiffer to go back and get it. That was a ball that was thrown hard and behind Pfeiffer, and the graduate transfer from Vanderbilt. Does an excellent job. 7-yard pickup.
Malik Cunningham, who is closing in on 5,000 career yards of total offense, hands this one off to Javian Hawkins, who went over 100 yards rushing in the first half. 11th time in his career to do that. 115 yards and a couple of TDs in the first half for Hawkins.
You'd like to see Florida State get back there and come under control. They've done such a fantastic job of knifing through and penetrating and disrupting the offense in the backfield for Louisville. But that first and second guy, they've missed too many times, and it's cost them. Make those plays.
3rd and 1. Cunningham hung on to it. Maybe got back to the line of scrimmage. Ran into Corey Durden, number 16. And also
yeah, I thought maybe there was going to be a flag thrown for a face mask. Well, that's a good no call. It looked like he just hit his hand on his shoulder pad and the head turned at the same time. You had 2 officials standing right over the top of it. So a good no call. Too many penalties as it is for the Seminoles in the first half. So they stand on that one, a 3rd down and short. Good job by the defense.
Raymond Woody had the first contact on the tackle of Cunningham. First punt of the game for the Cardinals from Harwell. And just beyond the 30-yard line, the fair catch after a 35-yard punt. So the Florida State defense gives the ball to Jordan Travis. And the Noles offense, 232 total yards in the first half. They average just over 400 per game. That's 10th in the ACC. Travis, 88 yards passing in that first half on 7 of 20. Jay-Sean Corbin has nowhere to go. Nick Okeke, number 11.
Well, just like I was talking about with that defensive front for Florida State, when you penetrate, don't just penetrate and change direction, penetrate and bring them down. And Okeke is showing you exactly how to do it. The junior from Smyrna, Tennessee, with the drop for a loss.
Travis rolls it out. Has to hang on to the football. Forced out by C.J. Avery. And now 3rd down. Clock stopping with 12:20 to go in the 3rd, and now starts to roll for Travis and the Noles. Teams haven't played, James, here in Louisville since 2018, a couple of seasons ago, and a win on the road 28-24 for the Noles prior to the arrival of Mike Norvell.
Nice job by the spy there, Avery. Replacing him, Monty Montgomery walking down and showing pressure. See if he backs out of it.
5 of 10 on 3rd down in the first half for Florida State. Just did get that snap away. Quick release, one-handed catch attempt is incomplete near midfield. That was Warren Thompson.
Chandler Jones right there. Guys looking like Frank Minifield around here. Hands were up there early. Florida State players want a flag over there. And Chandler Jones got to be careful, got to snap that head around or they will throw that flag, but they get away with one right there. Nice position. And so 3 and out for you, 3 and out for me as they trade them off to start this second half.
Mastromano, the punt. Burns signals for the fair catch, and he's got it around the 22 after a punt of 44 yards from Alex Mastromano, freshman punter for Florida State. Timeout on the field, 11:30 on the game clock in the 3rd quarter.
1, 2, 3.
Around the league in the ACC, the Clemson Tigers, #1 team in the country. They've won 25 in a row at home and 34 straight in the regular season. They lead Syracuse, James, in the 3rd.
Yeah, they were favored by 46.5 too, so a little bit closer than everybody thought. NC State without Devin Leary, unfortunately. He was hurt in our game last week. trailing North Carolina. Big rivalry, 24-7. It'll be up to Bailey Hawkman to bring them back there.
A win against Duke for NC State a week ago, and now Cunningham just launches that one into his own bench as he was pursued defensively by Emmett Rice.
And Malik ran through the momentum took him onto an equipment cart, and he basically surfed on it. Oh, just glad it didn't land on his ankle. Look at that. Oh, gosh. You're a Cardinal fan. You're holding your breath on that one. Fortunately, he's all right. Quarterback back out there. Good shot, guys.
Some sideline dexterity from Malik Cunningham, and he remains in the game. They'll hand this one off to Hawkins. 25-yard line for Javian Hawkins.
Yeah, love it back in there. And well, the damage done by number 10 in the first half, so they've got to rally around and put them in those vice angles. And you can't stop until that whistle blows with number 10. And a good job here. Bottle them up. Force a 3rd down and 7 now.
Hawkins, who ran for over 1,500 yards a season ago. School record for running backs. The leading rusher today with 120 yards. They want to throw on 3rd and 7. Dump it off. Ball comes out. Ball on the turf. And did Louisville come up with it? Cards have the football. Marshawn Ford ends up with the football, and it's beyond the sticks as well. So it was Hawkins who had the catch and run and then fumble, but where the ball ended up was enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, but again, you know, I mean, like he's in a phone booth here after the completion. Look how many guys he makes miss. Ball comes out, and an excellent job to jump on it. That's Marshawn Ford. And then you should have seen Javian Hawkins doing push-ups. The punishment for fumbling immediately.
Incomplete near the 45-yard line, looking for Des Fitzpatrick.
There you go. There you go. Look at him. There he is. Bottom of your screen. Knuckle push-ups.
Looks like you during halftime, James Bates, getting in a quick workout.
I'm doing squats right now.
How many does he get? What did he pump out? About 20? Oh, 10. Okay.
I guess he did 10, you know.
All
it's
right.
Probably the punishment for the backs when they put the ball on the ground as it is in practice. You might as well knock him out right now, Javian Hawkins.
Maybe we should incorporate that kind of thing with our technical crew.
Yeah.
Do some push-ups. Of course, they never mess up, so that would never happen. But it'd be me and you doing push-ups all the time, Bates. Cunningham wants a deep ball. Down the sideline, Fitzpatrick trying to get free of the defender, and a flag comes out. So Raymond Woody was back there defensively, number 31, and he'll be flagged.
Defense, number 31.
Gosh, and it's unfortunate, you know, it's good position. You just got to trust. Those eyes get big. Snap that head around. Snap that head around on the inside shoulder. Find that football, and it's perhaps an interception instead of a big penalty here. Good try by Des Fitzpatrick. The big body trying to get it with one arm. But Woody is in position. You just got to trust it. Fresh set of downs here for Louisville. It hasn't been the smoothest of starts in the second half, but they will take all the help they can get here to keep it alive, leading 31-14.
7 penalties for 80 yards for the Noles. Open field tackle of Javian Hawkins, who was loose for a moment. Asante Samuel Jr. got him around the ankles.
Well, and Asante Samuel is quickly running off, asking for a replacement. It looked like maybe he got banged up. I told you we wouldn't call his name much because they won't challenge him because he's been too good. Big-time cornerback. And just the frustration immediately as he called for some help. Now be careful. 2nd down and short. His replacement in there. I think it's Jones down at the bottom of the screen.
Cunningham. Middle of the field. Ball hits the turf. Fitzpatrick back there. Jarvis Brownlee, number 3 for Florida State. Raymond Woody as well, all in the neighborhood.
Woody's wagging the finger, but he's lucky that ball wasn't caught. Momentum, it's tough to put the foot in the ground and come back up and go and try to high point that football, and it seemed to float up there forever. Des Fitzpatrick finally running underneath it. That could have been another scary big play. Instead, it falls to the turf, and here's your 3rd down and short.
4 of 6 in the game on 3rd down for Louisville. They're going to run it. They're going to get it. Down the sideline, Hawkins bashes into a man at the 12 and close to the 10-yard line. Javian Hawkins running for 32 yards.
Watch 74. The big tackle, Adonis Boone, way down the field to spring it. And then it's a whole lot more tacked on by Hawkins. When he gets going full speed, look out. So dangerous. Big hitter to take him down to 1st and goal at the 10-yard line. Javian Hawkins, who went to the same high school as Carrot Top, the comedian. No joke, baby. No joke.
I need confirmation on that. Cunningham looking for the end zone, just throws it away. Hawkins James is now up to 162 yards rushing and the 2 touchdowns. And so Hawkins with those 2 TD runs today, that means he's got 17 career rushing touchdowns in 23 career games played.
Talking to his offensive coordinator, Dwayne Ledford, he said, you know what, everything he does with a chip on his shoulder. Just feisty and scrappy as can be, a fierce competitor, and an outstanding athlete, too. It's a pretty good combination, pretty dangerous combination. Here he is again.
2nd and goal. Hawkins to the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals from 10 yards away. Javian Hawkins.
Look at those. Good first step by that offensive line, and a nice job to seal there on the edge by Adonis Boone. A couple big blocks for him there on that drive. And punching it in one more time is the sophomore from Titusville, Florida, Cocoa High School, Javian Hawkins.
172 yards rushing for Hawkins and 3 touchdowns. He's got the hat trick from 10 yards away.
This Cardinal logo, it's got teeth. I didn't think Cardinals had teeth till I came in here, but a lot of bite with this hometown team here today.
It's either the assurance of Javian Hawkins has the Cardinal hat trick today. The 172 ties his career high for yards rushing in a single game. He did it against Boston College a season ago, but that was on 25 carries. He's got 172, James, on 14 carries. You know what the average is? 12.3 per carry.
That'll work, yeah. I didn't think too long of a pause there asking me to do math. That's not fair. I thought you were my friend.
I am your friend, believe me. And Hawkins and the Cards, they've got the belt up already in the 3rd quarter. Now this game far from over, 38-14, but 5 TDs and the field goal today for the Louisville Cardinals. They're now 20 of 21 in the red zone with 16 TDs. Ridiculous. Florida State return. Douglas on the return for the Noles.
Good job by Ja'Kai Douglas to even get back up there to the 20. It took him a while to get his hands on the football. Could have been a lot deeper for Travis and company to start.
Incredible red zone numbers this season for the Cards.
Jordan Travis, you see the way he's carrying that left arm? Was an issue late in that North Carolina game. He could barely move his left arm. Took a couple pops, but kept going back in there. He seems to be really carrying it gingerly here today.
Throws this one nearly intercepted. Clark had a chance at that one, looking for McDonald.
You see Yeast hugging him up. Travis going to take a hit here at the end. It's up in the air, so a little bit easy to toss down. But boy, you saw Yeast who dropped an interception. Could have been an easy interception earlier, and this one here, it was almost like Contrell Clark. He treated it like it was, you know, a mask that was just left out in the parking lot, trying to stay away from it. Didn't want any part of that interception.
2nd and 10 with a flag out. Webb was the ball carrier. Ran into Monty Montgomery.
Listen to that clack, clack.
4 players in the backfield.
Sweet sound.
Decline. 3rd down.
Man. Say it again and again. You know, that was the ongoing theme for number 7 in South Bend last weekend. Stop forces the 3rd down. And he's still feeling it here for this 3rd down try. Now, he's the guy who's drawn the assignment of spying on Jordan Travis. He can't let him sneak out here and get a nice cheapie on a 3rd down and long. Defensively, they got to get off the field.
5 of 11 in the game for Florida State. On 3rd down. Travis escapes the pocket, puts on the brakes, and he gets dragged down. A flag came out. There's 2 of them.
Did he get his face mask?
Montgomery got to Travis, but there are 2 penalty markers.
Personal foul, face mask, number 7, defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, automatic, 1st down.
Well, just like I told you, he was going to spy, and it's a good call, an easy call too. Unfortunate, because it was a heck of a play by Montgomery. Take away that cut. He came under control, which is something that we had seen some good athletic play, some good penetration time and time again defensively for Florida State, but a lot of times they wouldn't motor down and come under control, and they got hurt by guys like Hawkins. Here Montgomery, he's there, he's got the angle. Just comes under control, but he grabs that face mask, and there's the freebie. We'll see if it's just what the Noles needed. Direct snap here.
This is Corbin. Travis lined up as a wide receiver, and Corbin turned back by Monty Montgomery, who is the sack leader on this Louisville team with 4 this season and 9 for his career. After getting flagged for the penalty, he makes the tackle. A little bit of a wrinkle there from Florida State with the direct snap, James.
Yep, now Corbin back behind Jordan Travis in this pistol look. Corbin also a really good receiver.
Corbin on the run. Cross midfield. Batters his way down to the 40. Sean Corbin. That's a run of 24 yards and a 1st down and plenty more for the Noles.
What some good competition will do in a running back room for you. Webb has had a lot of success here as of late last couple of weeks. And Sean Corbin, the Texas A&M transfer, running hard right now.
They'll stick with the ground game and Corbin. Sophomore, Rockledge, Florida. Got 6 on the play.
Corbin was on that all-SEC freshman team at A&M before transferring over.
Florida State trying to cobble this drive together. Here's Webb on the run, and he takes it down into the red zone. With Damian Webb will run it for 17 yards. And this offense resuscitated right now for Florida State.
Webb, just 5'8", but he comes at you with such quickness and power. Became the first ever junior in the state of Alabama to be named Mr. Football. His junior year at Beauregard High School. He's done a good job for the Noles running the ball this season.
1st and 10 from the 18. He'll dump it off to Webb. Gets to the 10. Slamming into Contrell Clark as well. And the Noles are in our CPI security red zone. They got 8 on that last play.
An excellent job on the perimeter by all 3 receivers that were out there holding up their guys, giving Webb a chance to put on the jets and get a couple extra. So here's your 2nd down and 2.
Knowles are 2 for 2 in the red zone, with a rushing TD from Travis and a TD toss of 4 yards. Got away from that first man. Travis sliding down. They're going to mark him at the 9, which is about a yard short. Rajay Burns was in pursuit, and Etheridge as well. It's going to be 3rd and short.
Good job by Etheridge. Get out there again. This has been a good job tackling by a team that we've talked about it. They've decided to start bringing guys to the ground the last couple of weeks, and I really think that it's shown. They've come under control, haven't just blown past guys and drops them. Here's your 3rd down and short, and what you better believe is 4-down territory.
9th play of the drive. And LaDamian Webb picks it up down near that 5 or 6 yard line.
Near that mesh point, a little bit of a funky exchange. A good job to pull it in by Toafili. Make sure it didn't hit the ground. Go get that 1st down. So here's your 1st and goal.
Lawrence Toafili on the previous carry, the freshman. 1st and goal from the 5. Travis keeps it. Very short gain, if any. C.J. Avery on the stop of Jordan Travis. The rushing TD was in the 1st quarter, 8 yards for Travis.
Well, it's been a tough go for Jordan Travis and this whole offense here today. And that physical defense immediately slanting that way. Staying in their lanes, just stuffing it down, nowhere to go, forcing the 2nd down here.
10 carries for 58 yards for Travis. On 2nd and goal, just inside the 5. Travis tosses one with finesse to the end zone, broken up at the very last second, looking for McDonald. C.J. Avery, number 9.
Tried with the hard play action pass, trying to get those linebackers' eyes. They're on the run, but Avery wasn't having it. Cameron McDonald's been so big. 13 catches, 2 touchdowns, trying to go for number 3 right there, but Avery said nothing doing and breaks it up. A great job by the linebacker.
Fantastic 2nd look at that play. Back part of the end zone and broken up by Avery. There's 3rd and goal. Shovel forward to the goal line. Corbin. And he is just short and around the 1 yard line. It is now 4th and goal.
Well, a nice play call there, though. Everybody's got to respect when Jordan Travis takes the ball and he's running outside. You've got to get there in a hurry. He's done so much damage on the ground. And a nice job of recovering and stuffing it at the goal line.
What's the call from offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham?
Hey, your best player out there is 13. If you can roll him and give him a 2-way go, this is one of the best teams in the nation on 4th down.
They made it on 4th and goal in the first half. The struggle by Travis.
From up here, the 2nd effort looked like it got him in, but no signal.
Is he short of the goal line? He is. Turnover on downs and a goal line stand from the Cardinals. Travis could not break the plane. He had thrown a 4-yard TD pass on 4th and goal in the 2nd quarter. And the call on the field right now is a turnover on downs and a goal line stand from the Cards. So there's further deliberation. We'll come back in just a moment. Travis trying to get it in there.
After further review, ruling on the field is confirmed. 1st down, Louisville.
the first guy with his hand in the dirt per year, redshirt freshman, he makes it happen. Okeke's the one who's going to get back there and wrap up the quarterback, Jordan Travis, immediately. A good job by him. There's the ball right there. That's an excellent look at it, right down the lane, right down the goal line. But really, if it's not per year who takes that pop underneath the pad level of that offensive line, and he really takes on two guys, a redshirt freshman from right here in Louisville, 41, then that ball's easily into the end zone by the time Okeke can get there. Jordan Travis has nowhere to go with the stuff right in front of him, and Okeke cleans it up. Goal line stand for this defense. Certainly doesn't look like a 1-4 football team here so far today, leading 38-14.
Heavy on the rush on that drive for Florida State, and now Cunningham airs this one out, uncorked it to the 45-yard line, incomplete. Tutu Atwell, the intended receiver.
And how about this? We're having a little fun. Let's keep having fun, trying to go for the big hitter and give him about as big a play as you can get. With a nice job of getting over there to defend by 44 Gant, and hopefully Tutu Atwell's okay.
Atwell had a touchdown reception of 58 yards in the second quarter from Malik Cunningham. 2 TD passes as he plays out of his own end zone. Cunningham, is he driven back into the end zone? Yes, it's a safety. A safety for Florida State. Emmett Rice made the hit on Malik Cunningham, trying to come out of the end zone.
Safety.
Emmett Rice, the senior, Miami Gardens, Florida.
Hey, if we're not going to punch it in on offense, we'll get you a couple on defense. Look at that stick, standing him straight up, not falling for the smoke and mirrors. They've got bodies crossing every which way, trying to gain some room there in the middle. Staying home. And Emmett Rice.
I mean, that is a textbook tackle from Rice. The normally slippery Malik Cunningham gobbled up by Rice, driven back into the end zone, and the indication of safety from the officials. Mark this point down in the game. 2:01 in the third, and Mike Norvell's defense produces a couple of points on the safety. So the Cards tried the long pass to Atwell. That was unsuccessful. And then Cunningham, coming out of his own end zone, didn't make it back out. After leading 31-14 at halftime, late in the third. So glad that you're with us. Tom Wormy, James Bates, our spotter statistician, Charles Skip McMillan, and Lindsey Rowley on the sidelines.
Well, Tom, Coach Norvell, when he came to Florida State, he brought a philosophy with him, and that philosophy is climb. Now, the Florida State football program, climb stands for commitment, little things, intensity, mental toughness, and brotherhood. Coach Norvell told me that a lot of people, they want to get to the top of the mountain, but they don't want to go through the process and the hard work to get there. Now, certainly Florida State's going to need all of those things in order to compete here as we wind down and get closer to the fourth quarter. Guys?
All right, Lindsey. First, you have to show a lot of these Floridians what a mountain looks like.
Douglas on the return, Florida State.
Little things, intensity, the mental toughness, and the brotherhood. Well, that mental toughness, it's been there. They went on the road a couple weeks ago. Notre Dame, a little bit rough early on, and could have folded up the tent and just tried to play it out and go on home, but they scrapped and fought to the very end. And this is a team, even after that Miami game, and Jacksonville State had them down early. They fought back, so expect 4 quarters of play, that focus and finish that we talked about off the top.
Travis complete, Louisville side of the 50 to the 40-yard line. It's Cameron McDonald refusing to go down. Junior from Long Beach, California. 6'4" and 238 pounds of Cameron McDonald.
17, Dorian at the first down.
First down for the Noles inside the 40 of Louisville. Travis. That one pops in the air and it's intercepted. Intercepted by the Cardinals and returned past the 45-yard line. Jack Fagot.
Again, Travis buys some time with his feet, and Wilson, who has a touchdown here in this one, just took his eyes, tried to turn and run. It was a ball that was thrown pretty hard. That's why it ricocheted and bounced so high. But still a ball that has to be caught. And Fagot just waiting on it. Fagot from enemy territory around these parts, Lexington, Kentucky, Lexington Catholic. The junior with a big interception just when the momentum turned and was in the hands of the Seminoles after the safety. And first couple plays of that drive looked pretty good. But a big turnover here for this Louisville Cardinal defense right when they needed it.
And just their second interception of the season. 7 straight games the Noles have now thrown a pick. And the first turnover.
Davian Hawkins, the ball carrier.
Hawkins on the run. Time ticking away in this third quarter. That's a huge play after Florida State had gotten the safety. The pass by Travis popped in the air, and Fagot, the junior from Lexington, Kentucky, with the interception. First turnover for either team today. And it's a big one here late in the third. Pass complete on the edge. Taken out of bounds near the 40 for first down yardage. Johnson has it for Louisville.
Nice job blocking on the edge by Ford. He sent Asante Samuel into his bench with a big block. Move those chains.
Closing seconds of the third quarter. Louisville had the 31-14 halftime advantage. 38-16 as we play late in the third. Cunningham drops it off. Down near the 20-yard line. Des Fitzpatrick on the final play of the third quarter. Right to the 20 for Fitzpatrick on the catch and run of 20 yards. End of the third. 38-16, Satterfield and the Cards. That's the Atwell of 58 yards as well.
Well, he's been precise through the passing game. He's led the show on the ground. He's been dynamic with his feet, which hasn't always been the case here this season. And there you saw it. You mentioned it, Tom. He's tough. He's so physical. And the team rallies around him. And as you look at the stats through 3 quarters, we got 513 yards for a coach who's been begging for some big plays. Well, Coach Satterfield, you got him so far today.
And they have the lead as we head to the fourth quarter. Louisville leads the Noles, and we thank you for watching the fourth.
For Tom Tillis, it's all about special tax breaks for his special interest friends in the boardroom.
16, and the Cards are cranking up some sweet music here at Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah, the 12,000 in attendance, they've all got their air guitars out. I don't know this song. I pulled out the Chubb Rock earlier, but I don't recognize this one.
Hawkins has 175 yards rushing. Career high in 3 TDs. Cunningham to throw to the end zone. Incomplete. Pfeiffer again. Yeah, James, he's already got a TD catch.
Looking for Pfeiffer, and Emmett Rice is right there with him and does a fantastic job to just rake it away. At the same time, not getting a flag thrown for interference. He's right there, stride for stride. He's the one who had the big hit, the safety that we thought might turn the tide a little bit momentum-wise. Instead, they're going to have to do it right here, try to get off the field.
4 for 5 in the red zone in the game for the Cards. Using every moment of that play clock. Might have been a loss on the play there as Hawkins got tripped up.
Yeah, I think it was by his own offensive lineman, but the reason his offensive lineman was backing up was because of the pressure there in the middle. Let's see if we can give credit to who stood him up there. Kendo gets up the field, but I think it was Robert Cooper who first walked his guy back and then got a JOP.
So they're checking on Emmett Rice, number 1 for the Noles.
Extreme Amy McGrath sounds extremely familiar.
I'm going to be good to go down as one of the most progressive presidents in American history.
ACC football is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina. We resolve to help North Carolina stay healthy. And Bojangles. It's bow time.
The 102nd season of football here at Louisville. First season back in 1912, and one of the legends to wear the uniform, Johnny Unitas, early 1950s quarterback at Louisville, the 4-time NFL MVP and Super Bowl champ in Super Bowl V against the Cowboys. Also the NFL championship game in 1958 against the Giants in overtime. That was the first ever overtime game in the history of the National Football League.
Great statue. Used to be down at field level, right over by the end zone that the Cardinals are trying to head into right now. They moved it up to the upper deck.
3rd and 11 for Cunningham. Incomplete in the end zone. That close to Ford. So 4th down now, James, for the Cards.
Ford so close earlier to scoring a touchdown, had his knee down and was ruled down at the 1. And this one, he's not going to want to see the replay of this one. It doesn't get any easier than that. We've seen a lot of drop balls in this one, offensively and defensively. So here comes James Turner in for another attempt. They've already blocked one of his tries here today.
1 for 2 in the game, this from 39 yards away. Hit from 28, and this one is going to be good. Turner adds 3 more. 41-16, Cardinals. The house is jumping here, and also in Winston-Salem, Justin Fuente and the Virginia Tech Hokies off the bus and into the stadium for the first time in Winston-Salem since 2014. Both of these offenses in this game, James, Virginia Tech number 19 against Wake, both average over 40 points per game in the top 3 in the ACC. Evan Leffler, Brian Jordan, Abby Labar on the sidelines. They'll have the call for you, along with the outstanding technical crew in Winston-Salem. Tip of the cap to our crew here in Louisville, Kentucky. Wormy, Bates, Rowley. And they're going to bring it out of the end zone with Helton for the Noles. Close to the 20-yard line for Helton. In fact, they'll mark him right at the 20.
Stopping at the 20-yard line.
Louisville's been able to put up 41 points. The key number really, James, with Louisville and Scott Satterfield in particular is 30 points. He's 49-4 when his team score 30 or more. He's 8-1 with Louisville when they score 30 or more, and they've topped the 40-point mark. He's 4-0 with the Cards when they get 40 or more. Obviously, the percentages go up the more you can put on the board, and they've got 41. Thanks to the most recent field goal from James Turner. That's Wilson for Florida State. Don't forget, the Cards haven't won in this series since 2017, James. They won on the road at Doak Campbell Stadium, Bobby Bowden Field, 31-28. A last-second field goal, Blanton Creaky for Louisville.
Nice job there by Brian Brown's defense. You see guys jumping to get leverage, get back in position. And it's unselfish football, disciplined football on plays like that, trying to get the jet sweep for a big hitter. And if they let it get outside, it can with a guy like Wilson. But you got guys not giving up that outside shoulder, let your buddy come bring them down. So a gain of 4. And Florida State, boy, would they like a big player too. here with 13:38 left to go in this fourth quarter. They got to get something going, and a long way to go and a short time to get there, Burt Reynolds.
The late Florida State football great Burt Reynolds. Jordan Young on the catch. Lost his helmet as well in the process.
Yeah, he'll have to leave for a play. No penalty flag.
3rd and short for Florida State. 6 of 13 in the game for Jordan Travis and the Seminoles. Way back in the first quarter, they led 7-0. They're going to get the first down and plenty more. That was Webb on the take for Florida State. Now, they watched North Carolina make a crazy comeback against them, James, a week ago. Will they be able to do it against Louisville with 12:45 and rolling on the clock? Travis over the middle. Down inside the 45-yard line as he hit LaDamian Webb on the pass play.
Nice job right over the ball. Keep that hammer down. You got the tempo in the package. We've seen it throughout the season. Now it's important. It's not a luxury right here. You gotta act fast for the rest of this ball game.
12 yards on that last play. Corbin left side. Breaking through that first line of defense and close to the 35-yard line for Corbin. Rajay Burns, the senior from right here in Louisville and Trinity High School on the play for the Cards. Rocking the red helmets, the black tops, and the red pants, James. Quite a nice scheme today. In fact, for both teams, looking good in those unis. The all-whites for Florida State. Travis pursued and taken down. Yasir Abdullah for the Cards.
Well, I was hoping 22 make a play today. That's what my old teammate Xavier McCray, Carroll City guy, making the tackle. Yasir Abdullah played at Carroll City High School. Aubrey Hill, his high school coach, who passed away this past summer, one of the greatest people around. And he's missed by a lot of guys that he's helped to coach and befriended over the years. Nice play there by 22.
3rd and long. Underneath. Complete. Wilson well short of the line to gain, which is up near the 33-yard line of Louisville. And that'll bring up 4th down for Florida State.
Well, you certainly miss a guy like Terry. Throughout any game, you can't have Tamari and Terry, but especially in situations like this, where you defensively you fear a guy that's going to run by you. They can run those routes and break them off. And 4th down and 12. This is an offense that's been fantastic. Over 64%. 6th in the nation coming into this game on 4th down, but this one's 4th down and a dozen.
1 for 2 on 4th in the game. Travis stands tall. Throws it to the 30. It's too high for the receiver. Looking for Helton. Incomplete. 9:59 on the clock with Clark back there for Louisville. And the Cards will have the ball when we come back to Derby City.
Your family has...
Coming up at 3:30 Eastern, most of you will see Virginia Tech, number 19 in the country, against Wake Forest. Khalil Herbert, the leading rusher in the ACC, on display in 2 explosive offenses going head-to-head in Winston-Salem. Time for our big bow moments on the ground with Hawkins.
Yeah, we've got a couple good backs going out here today, especially Javian Hawkins, the sophomore from Titusville, Florida, has been fantastic. You keep mentioning that offense for Virginia Tech. Herbert's been so big for them. And how big has 10 been in this one? Dynamic back, a lot of speed. Beat everybody to that edge and get the corner turn with his 3 touchdowns. And there you see the other offensive leaders for this crew. Offensive coordinator Dwayne Ledford Tutu Atwell. A lot of noise early.
10th career game over 100 yards receiving for Atwell. Career highs in rushing yards and TDs for Hawkins.
Look at that, we got a new quarterback in there for Louisville. Puma Pass, Jawan Pass, who's played a lot of football here for Louisville. Big body. You think Malik Cunningham looks like a big quarterback out there. 6'4", 230 plus, number 4 here.
Down the sideline, into the secondary. Berkeley down near that 10-yard line. 43 yards on the run from Berkeley.
Boy, no Cunningham, no Hawkins in there right now, but same result. Little stutter step for Berkeley to gain a few extra yards there towards the end of the run. Gaines got to be careful grabbing that horse collar. Could have tacked on a couple more. But Berkeley, who's, remember, stepping in for Hassan Hall, who wasn't available for today, the junior, who's usually the backup to Javian Hawkins. So you've seen 36 in there quite a bit.
Pass. Couple of pump fakes and then dragged down at the 11. Maybe a yard. Stephen Dix Jr. on the tackle. 32 in white, garnet and gold. 278, the 2 passes for TDs of 13 and 58 yards. Malik Cunningham. He and Evan Conley, the only Louisville quarterbacks with any sort of statistics this year. Conley's put in 1 game, and now Puma Pass is in there for the Cards in relief of Cunningham. Berkeley right side stood up at the line of scrimmage. 556 total yards for Louisville today. That is a season high, eclipsing the 516 in the loss at home against Miami earlier this season for the Cards. But they have rolled up the offense. And last week, James, they only had 233 yards of total offense in the loss at Notre Dame, 12-7. They've made up for it today. So 3rd and 9. They can get a first down near the 2. End zone toss. Front left corner. Flag is out. Diving attempt, Jordan Watkins. Raymond Woody defending.
Pass interference. Defense, number 31. About rule the ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First and goal.
Well, here you go, coming right at you. A nicely thrown ball there for Watkins from Puma Pass, and just a little bit too early. Woody. Yeah. Try to look it up here. What year is Woody? He's in position a couple times. He had a couple flags thrown on him. Sophomore, young guy. Just he's going to mature. He's going to be a heck of a player.
First and goal. Race to that front corner, and it's won by number 1. Atwell, 2nd receiving touchdown of the game. And the Cardinals are back dancing in the zone.
There you go, a little misdirection and swinging it out there to the speedster. And I wouldn't wish that on anyone trying to outrace him to the corner. Nice little play right there. That's
2-yard TD pass. Pass to Atwell. 2nd receiving TD. Tutu Atwell.
Tutu Atwell, a Miami Northwestern graduate, getting it done here today. Guys like Teddy Bridgewater, Amari Cooper, Trick Daddy went there too, and you know Trick loves the kids.
You never know.
Forrest And Kenneth Walker, their leading rusher, against the Virginia Tech Hokies. What's coming up? Most of you will see that on your regional sports network with Evan Lepler, Brian Jordan, and Abby LeBar on the sidelines. So that's coming up 3:30 Eastern. Let's look at that last touchdown play, pass. And he threw that one backwards, James, is what the official scorers are telling us. So it's technically a 2-yard run for Tutu Atwell. Close enough. Back in the end zone. I think it looked like a little bit of a backwards pass, but either way, it was a well-devised play by Louisville in tight, and for 2 yards, Atwell runs it into the end zone. There you go, 2-yard TD run, Atwell. Second TD today. He had a TD reception of 58 yards from the starter Malik Cunningham, that back in the second quarter. Douglas and Corbin are deep. 22 is Ja'Kai Douglas, the freshman. So Louisville only scored 7 points, 1 touchdown in the third quarter last week at Notre Dame. It is a different story today against Florida State. And is there a situation, James, for Florida State where they didn't get the validation they wanted from last week's win against then number 5 North Carolina, maybe?
Yeah, you know, had they come in here and taken it to the wire, it's a shame, too, because it was such a huge win for the program. And people coming into this one, you look at it and say, oh, well, Louisville's 1-4. We ought to go in and win that one. But as we've talked about throughout the broadcast, this is a 1-4 football team that's been so close to making these big plays happen. Unfortunately for Florida State, they all kind of came together and all happened. It was a whirlwind of big plays.
On the previous play.
Here today. So to say that they beat a number 5 team in the nation and then went on the road and lost to a 1-4 team, it doesn't do it justice. And I'll take a look at Dallas here, the injured Cardinal. So it really is a shame that they couldn't back it up with a solid 4-quarter performance here today. And it doesn't get a lot easier. You know, they got Pittsburgh going down to Tallahassee. They'll have Halloween off, you know, a chance hopefully for Tamarian Terry to get healthy, get him back out there. They've missed him today. Gosh, a lot of pain there for 14. Hopefully he's okay. But then they're at NC State, Clemson, Virginia, and finish up at Duke. So not an easy stretchers. New quarterback in there for FSU now. And that's the first look at Chubba Purdy. Purdy, a lot of folks high on Chubba Purdy. The freshman out of Queen Creek, Arizona.
He is the 4th Florida State quarterback to see action this season, along with Blackman, Travis, Rodemaker, who we saw against Jacksonville State. He started that game, gave way to Travis. So Purdy in there now for Florida State. Up the sideline. And the long run, Toa Philly. Found some daylight and capitalized.
Well, in that Miami loss, there, Tom, they saw 3 quarterbacks playing, and Toa Philly that was his FSU debut. He had 3 catches, and on the ground, he had 64 yards rushing. Led the team. So now we've seen Webb, Corbin, Toa Philly running that rock.
49 yards on the run by Toa Philly, the freshman.
But there have been a lot of FSU fans anxious to see number 12 in there. He was injured, I believe it was in a preseason scrimmage. And his brother is Brock Purdy, the quarterback at Iowa State. His dad was actually a baseball player at Miami Hurricane. We'll get a chance to see him sling it here a little bit.
Wants to throw, has to scamper out of bounds near the 25 or 6. He got 4 yards on the run. It's 3rd down. The win against North Carolina last week for Florida State, first win over a top 5 team since 2014 when they beat Notre Dame. in Tallahassee. First win as an unranked team over a top 5 opponent since 1965, which we mentioned in the first half when they beat Georgia, which was number 5 at the time. So it was a historic victory last week, but unable to follow up and maintain the momentum on the road against the Cardinals this afternoon. A whistle brings a premature end to this play, and a flag is out.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 51, 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Boy, those whistles, music to the ears of Chubba Purdy, because he had everybody coming in a red hat after him. It was like in The Waterboy. She's
The Waterboy, I've seen that movie.
She's the most beautiful woman alive. I didn't say anything about it.
Didn't you win some kind of award for that movie, James?
So here's a 3rd down and 11 now. You actually see him give him a little bit of protection.
By the way, Virginia Tech will be here next week, the opponent of Wake Forest today. The Hokies come here to Cardinal Stadium for the first time since 1992. Next week for Louisville, that's their opponent coming up.
5-yard penalty.
And the penalty's going against Coach Norvell and the Seminoles. So he got his first ACC win last week, but won't be able to back it up today against the Cards, who are going to get their first ACC win of the season after being 0-4 against Atlantic Coast Conference opponents so far this season prior to today for Louisville. Purdy's pass is batted down. Jordan Young was the receiver. Hayes knocked it to the turf. 4th and 16.
Nice job by Hayes, the transfer from Arizona. Time it up, bat it down.
So Florida State with its 16 points on the board, 403 in total offense. Most of that on the ground. 262 on the ground for Florida State, 280 on the ground for Louisville. 1 for 3 on 4th down plays inside the 5, and that one falls to the turf. Helton certainly had a chance at it, but couldn't hang on. In a bit of a congested area, but he will watch the tape and say, I should have had that one, I'm sure, James.
Man, these guys, they dropped way too many balls here today. We talked about the focus and the emphasis there being on focusing on these little procedure penalties that just have killed the momentum. But the focus also comes with things like this. Help your guys out a little bit. You're struggling, you're fighting for something good to finally happen. These are the little things. Those little things when Lindsay earlier talked about climbing that ladder. It's that right there. It's frustrating, and they'll grow from it. But guys, it's been a tough afternoon. The guys with the spears on their hats here today, that's for sure. 48-16 as Louisville will take back over.
As James mentioned, next game is November 7th for Florida State against Pitt. There are flags behind this play. Run by Mitchell.
Holding. Number 44 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Don't forget, in just a few minutes, Khalil Herbert, leading rusher in the ACC, and the Virginia Tech Hokies, number 19 in the country after defeating Boston College at Lane Stadium last week. Taking on Dave Clawson and the Wake Forest Demon Deacons.
Well, those Deeks defensively, they've been so good over the last few years. So much fun to watch. They haven't been quite as special here this year, and they got their hands full today with those Hokies coming to town. And the Hokies are coming here on Halloween. The game, I think it starts at 4 o'clock next weekend. That'll be a heck of a football game, especially if Virginia Tech can win. And Wake Forest today come and play. Louisville's feeling pretty good about themselves.
Wake Forest 2-2 on the season as they host Virginia Tech. We're inside of 4 minutes to go in our game today. James, your overall evaluation of what you saw from the Cards for the better part of this afternoon here in Derby City.
Well, I think this is exactly what a lot of people obviously around here had hoped for, and a lot of people outside of Louisville, outside of this fan base, had thought they might see on a regular basis this season. 2020 has thrown us all a lot of curveballs, and how you approach the season. There's no blueprint for how to approach this pandemic season. So, maybe that has a lot to do with it. They didn't quite handle the reps in camp like they feel like they should have. But one thing that really stands out to me is talking to the Louisville defensive coordinator, Brian Brown. I asked him, I said, you guys, you look so physical as you look at their remaining schedule. You've looked so physical, you turn on that Notre Dame tape and it's, my goodness, this is probably the most physical team I've seen watching tape so far. Where has it been? And he said, you know what, we made a decision the Tuesday before Notre Dame that we were just going to get after it and practice on Tuesday. We're tired of being scared of, oh gosh, what if our guys get COVID? We don't want to get them hurt. Very physical practices that week, and it showed in the game again this week. Tuesday, Wednesday, very physical practices, bringing guys down to the ground, which they're not doing across the college football landscape. And I think that it's really shown. It's really paying off, and that's the way what these guys are used to in normal times. That's the way they practice, and they've gone right back to it, and the success is showing now.
So next week, hosting Virginia Tech. Just the 8th all-time meeting with the Hokies, and the first since the 06 Gator Bowl, which they lost 35-24 to Virginia Tech, well before Scott Satterfield took over in his second season here at Louisville. Satterfield was also the head coach at App State from 2013 to 2018, and Sun Belt champs his last 3 seasons. 4 straight bowls as well. Satterfield played quarterback at App State. 1:45 on the game clock and a timeout taken. So with this afternoon's proceedings, Florida State will drop to 2-4 and 1-4 in conference play. 0-3 on the road for Coach Norvell. Week off, then Pittsburgh, and then November 21st, they got to play number 1 Clemson. And that's the upcoming schedule for Florida State. That includes NC State playing Carolina today. They got into the top 25, James, by virtue of their victory over Duke last week that we got to call.
Yeah, that was a fun one. Wild game there in Raleigh last weekend. Unfortunately, they lost their star young quarterback for the season, Devin Leary. Asante Samuel Jr., he left the game a little while ago. And hopefully he's okay. He's going to be ready to go. They get back into action in 2 weeks. There's a chance to get a rep on the punt team. It's been an adventure, to say the least, for this punt team.
Helton. Just a quick check on the number 1 team in the land, the Clemson Tigers. At one point against Syracuse, it was 28-21. It's now 47-21. That's late in the 4th. So the Tigers about to win their 26th game in a row at home at Memorial Stadium, Death Valley, Clemson, South Carolina. Solidify their spot as number 1. And we told you they're coming up on the schedule for Florida State. That's on November 21st.
And they'll play
North Carolina has the lead on NC State, James, 48-21. That's in the 4th. North Carolina's up to number 14 in the country as whistles blow this play dead.
I think you got to jump on the Knowles.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 59, offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Things you can control, and they've just had too many of those. And this game's out of hand, but they've had a couple here in the 4th quarter. They've had a couple procedure penalties just along that offensive front. Way too many against North Carolina. Go back to that Miami game, they had 12 penalties. They can't have them. They want to be successful.
Purdy on the run sails it into the Louisville bench. This day for the Cardinals, 6 for 6 from the red zone. A season-high 571 yards of total offense, and they did not turn the ball over. And Mike Norvell had to watch Javian Hawkins rush for 174 yards, career high, and take it in the end zone 3 times.
Well, they only had 233 total yards in the loss last week, 12-7 at Notre Dame, the lowest total for Satterfield since he's been here.
Incomplete.
Could have used a couple there.
And past the numbers. And remember, they led Notre Dame 7-6 in the third quarter.
You know, we've talked quite a bit about the procedure penalties, but the drops are becoming another issue. Just way too many. Just little things they've got to get back to work on, and it's a shame. You know, here you got a guy that's coming in, getting his first reps. Everybody wants to see him go. He's hit a couple guys on the numbers, and they're just dropping these balls. Would have been his first touchdown of his career just moments ago down in the goal line, an easy one that was dropped.
Purdy passes midfield, and that ball hits the turf. Again, almost picked off. A couple of Louisville players hit the deck. It was Abdullah trying to shake it off. They were looking for Williamson.
Hold on, I'm gonna give you hit the Louisville wrong for the first time.
I said Louisville.
No, you said Louisville.
You said my apologies then. Louisville.
There you go.
They win here. Don't forget, coming up, Virginia Tech and Wake Forest. If you're Florida State defensively, James, you should probably take a look at the numbers. They allowed 558 to North Carolina in the win last week. Today they've allowed 571. So just things to consider if you're Florida State defensively as they get that punt away.
Barely.
All the way back. Potentially scooped up and taken by the Noles, and they're going to stop it at the 10-yard line and give it to the Noles. So it was Burns who had trouble with it. It's going to be the first turnover of the game for Louisville. Should be inconsequential with 1:08 to go, but again, Burns with the misplay.
And at that point, if you have a chance to just save it and fall on it, it looked like a couple times he tried to pick it up and run with it, and just you turn into almost the fumble on the ground defender type of deal. Just go in there and cradle it and save it for your offense.
Not really sure why you even want to field it at this point, right? James,
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine. I know you're trying to get the reps in, but you've got the game well in hand.
See if Purdy can get his first touchdown.
He's at the 6, and he got tripped up. Final 53 seconds. Florida State does have 406 yards of total offense, but the smiles belong to the Cards. Whether you're behind a mask or a shield, it's ear-to-ear grins this afternoon for the Cardinals. Florida State scored first, James. They threw the first jab. But then the right cross, the uppercut, the haymaker, the right hook all came from the Cards. Into the end zone and broken up. And it's a clean play. Anthony Johnson back there to defend Kentron Portier. Clock stopping, 26 seconds.
You know, it's an offense that hasn't only missed the playmaking ability of Tamari and Terry, but it's the competitiveness and you know to go and fight. Hey, that's a 50-50 ball right there. No, it's not if you're Terry. It's a 90-10 in my favor. I'm going to make it happen. And, you know, here's again, it's hang on to the football. Who wants to take that next step and who wants to scrap and compete? And this is maybe what you'd call some garbage type time, but it's also, like you said, it's also reps. It's also, you know, having some pride and going out there and competing. And if that ball's up there, it's mine. You know, who's going to make the play?
4th and goal. To the end zone, knocked away. Looking for Portier. Johnson able to separate football from receiver on 4th and goal. Knowles had converted a 4th and goal earlier in the game on a TD pass of 4 yards by Jordan Travis to Ontario Wilson, but this time it's knocked away, and That'll put the finishing touches on this victory for Coach Satterfield and the Cards. 48-16 and 17 seconds to go. Again, we're leading you up to the second game of our doubleheader on your regional sports networks, Wake Forest and Virginia Tech. Thanks to all the folks here in Louisville. Very gracious hosts this weekend for our production team. Thanks to everybody who worked on this broadcast. And congrats to Coach Satterfield and the Cardinals getting the win and racking up 571 yards of total offense. That is a season high. Should be the final play of our ball game. And once again, that final score will be 48-16. Coming up next, Virginia Tech at Wake Forest. For Bates and Rowley, I'm Wormy. Let's go to Evan Leffler, Brian Jordan, and Abby Lamar in Winston-Salem.
We welcome those of you who just